right, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you that this delay is going to be worth it because he is here. He has actually arrived inside the WC yard, proving that he's actually the ruler of the yard. He's going to talk about why, especially for those in WCE Wrestling Championship Entertainment, why he continues to be that ruler of the yard, the backyard nightmare with his championship run over 1 year and counting, 400 plus days. He is getting ready for another huge showdown here, literally. Showdown in the yard, plus who knows what else is on his mind. It looks like to me tonight on Sportswire Radio Friday night, this is going to be more of a celebratory victory celebration for Kraven Rage, or maybe I'm missing something. He is no stranger to us, but he's going to get the usual introduction, even though my voice might be half shot. But still, we're back! Without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one, let's watch out. The backyard nightmare, the ruler of the WC yard, that is the reigning, defending, all-out champion, Kraven Rage. The champ is here. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, Reverend. Thank you for that lovely introduction. I love it every time.
I didn't know if I had it in me tonight, but maybe actually the 20-minute delay here for your entrance actually helped me with that. Now, I have a ton of comments because people have been anxiously waiting for you here. So I'm going to get to that. There might even be some people out there that might want to say a few things to you face-to-face. We'll get to that shortly. But for those that are listening and watching, obviously you had a match, and I guess some people are chattering about that Adonis Felios really should be the all-out champion in WCE, that the referee, if he was there, would have saw the count, 1, 2, 3, would have been counted to 20, and Adonis would have won that all-out championship. But I see it right now. You retain and remain that champion. So for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, set the record straight about yourself and the one and only Adonis Felios, the AIW champion, at the last WCE show.
Well, everybody's been talking about it was a year in the making for that match to happen. If everybody go back and watch, I beat Adonis last year, when I made him say I made him tap out. Adonis came in, he was strong, he was unstoppable, and he claimed that he took me to my limit, and had me beat. But that's the thing. He thought he had me beat, because at the end of the day, Adonis could not get the job done. He failed. And I made his little ass say, I quit. Like I promised what I was going to make everybody make him say, I quit. And that's what he did. He screamed, I quit, I quit, I quit. I made him quit so bad, the man, I seen him pop up on San Jovi. The man couldn't even get the right title he was competing for.
He couldn't even play Shaq Fu correctly in the Jovi's vlogs. I mean, the guy has been on here on Sportswire a couple different times, and I want to at least give him the benefit of the doubt. But, Kraven, I'm actually going to take a different take. Now, I heard JR Wind on Facebook say that Adonis Felios should be the real champion, and he's waiting anxiously to hear what I have to say and you have to say about it. But here's the thing. I mean, that's the difference between a champion and a non-champion, is that, you're the guy that's got the experience. So sure, you might have been down for the count. Packer could have been down for the count, but they don't give you in the record books an asterisk. They don't give you a consolation prize. So unfortunately for Adonis, who threw everything at you but the kitchen sink, and you did as well, conversely, but you're the one that has that championship. So they don't give you redos. They don't give you extra credit like we were in school. If we didn't do well on our homework, you got that extra credit to give you a couple points to boost your grade. You don't get any of that. You get a loss. And that's what the record book stands for Adonis Felios, is that he got the L against you and you got the W.
That's the only thing that matters. Who come out on top, and obviously, as you see, I'm still standing on a historical run going on 430 days
It's a long
on
time.
July 8th.
It's a long time.
You
It's a long
know,
time.
as the longest reigning WC champion in history. And I'm just tired of people. That's what people have been talking about is people has been talking about, oh, there is cracks in my empire that I have built. No, there's no
Well,
cracks in
who's
my
saying
empire.
that? Because the chatter that I hear is who's left. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I do this dance with you every month. I've done it for the last year, and I got to be honest. I'm going to tell you straight up from what I hear through the grapevine is that who's left out there? This guy Prince Charles, who thought you were his protege, his mentor. I mean, clearly somebody was living delusionally. You beat him. You beat this killer rabbit we haven't seen from since. I guess he went back into his shadow. Maybe he'll come back next season. He's done. You go up against Adonis Felios. I mean, at the end of the day, you got the job done. I mean, who else left is out there on this roster that I could say is going to give you a test? So to me, I feel like it's really James Marshall. You beat him in a champion versus champion match, and you pretty much left him laying. I mean, there's really nobody I look at here on this roster that there's left for you. So I don't see it the other way at all that you're telling me. I see it where that basically there's nobody left.
Yeah, because there is nobody else. There's no cracks in my empire that I have built. I run it. I own this. I run it all. I'm above the head and shoulders of everybody. Everybody has fallen to me. I ran people out of this business like JDT.
Who?
You know what I'm saying?
Who?
I put JDT, you know what I'm saying? I ran him out of this business. Kodak Kid, put him on the shelf. He might be retired.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about him. He's almost like is he in witness protection? Because I haven't heard anything about him in quite a while.
So there's really nobody left for me that can stand the opposite chance because I'm so dominant.
Right. I mean, I think that's what it comes down to is that there really isn't anybody. But let me get to some comments because I know a lot of people want to talk to you tonight. First of all, the IMF is here. They're tuned in. They had that big show that they just had last week with DKW, Rage in the Cage. Go to their YouTube page, IMF Wrestling 666. Conversely, WC Heat, Ring of Destruction 2. Phenomenal shows. Please check them out. James Marshall is here. Am I early for Kraven's Glory? No, the champion, unfortunately, was late. He is here, but obviously we have him now. This individual, who I think you might be seeing shortly, says late to his own time slot, another world champion. My good friend, another Battle Royal winner, also over from our friends over at Firestar Championship Wrestling, Mr. BMD in the UK is tuned in. How you doing, BMD? IMF, fashionably late. Well, this guy wouldn't know fashion even if the Tyler Breeze. Boy, the IMF is throwing barbs at you, my friend, tonight. Omen Black is here, the former IMF champion of the world, but there may be for him an explanation. Yawn, he could never keep up with me or beat me. Be happy, Kraven, that I haven't made it to that yard yet. Oh, geez, too bad I'm not at the ring now. Adonis Felios, your competitor a few weeks ago, says good evening. Skullz is in the house, who I think, to me, a lot of people are chirping about. Skullz. Who is this guy, Skullz? That's what I'm getting to, and I'll get to that in a second. Soldier GP, now the Grand Slam winner from the IMF. They certainly have some things, and that's a point. I have more comments here, and I'm going to come back to them, but, that is the chatter from people. You look at other companies, right? And IMF wrestles DKW guys. Jack Delta wrestles James Taylor. You see other people, and there are some people, now this is not my opinion, but there are people out there that I hear it. I hear where I go out there in social media, in the community, that these guys, and no disrespect to them, but Adonis Felios, Prince Charles, the Killer Rabbit, they're not to the same standard, maybe, as, let's say, some of the backyard superstars, like an Omen Black, like a Darkron, like a Matthew Forsaken, like a James Taylor even, Jack Delta, CJ Black, the good guy, the Atomic Titan. I mean, the CJ, the Alpha Junt. I mean, we can go down the list. I mean, what do you say to that, though? I mean, you got to be hearing that, at least. If there's a crack in the kink, maybe it's that. Does that bother you at all, that people feel that these guys you've beaten, who some say are nobodies, that they're not to par as some of the big backyard stars that are out there? What do you say to that?
Honestly, yeah, a lot of people talk about WCE, and yeah, we got James Marshall, we got Nicholas Crenson, we got
Jovi.
Jovi, and the list goes on. We got Kodak Kid. We do have great talent, and these guys,
Absolutely.
James Marshall, yeah, he is the workhorse of WCE. Sean Jovi, he's he's the face, he's the rock star. He's the guardian. But and you got Nicholas Crenson, and you all know what Nicholas Crenson can do. But you got me, the rule of the yard. I am the yard. I'm beyond everybody in this company.
Right. But for this company, but the big backyard names, these yarders, these other people who come on to the show here, and again, I don't want to disparage people. I'm not in the business of that, but that's what the chatter is. They feel like that, you're facing people that, yeah, you should squash them. You should knock these guys down. You should knock them out of the park. I mean, because these guys really, they're not in your league at the moment. They're not. I mean, the fact state, you've been champion, right? For going on, 60 weeks, right? 60-week champion. So at the end of the day, you should beat these guys. But it's almost as if people want to see competition, almost like in the days when Bob Backlund was the WWF champion. He faced off with Nick Bockwinkel, the AWA champion, or Ric Flair, then the NWA champion. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like JR win. Well, Adonis Felios could have won. He could have, should have, would have. Roman Reigns has been champion for almost 3 years. We don't talk about the fact that Kevin Owens could have been champion 2 years back, or Seth Rollins beat him by a disqualification. We can go up and down the list. Roman's the champion, just like you're the champion. I mean, what do you say to all that?
It's an honor, it's truly an honor, but it just pisses me off as well, too, because, we got all these companies like IMF. We got all the people like the big time backyarders out there, honestly, I'm opening the door. You know what I'm saying? I want them to come to my territory. I want them to come here and face me. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? Because I put on 5-star matches.
We're going to get to that. I'm going to get to that in a few minutes. You've actually been rated, more than 5 stars. So I don't think people knock your in-ring ability. I don't think that's the question here tonight. I don't think people are knocking the fact that you're a world champion, because you've proven that. You've definitely proven by now that you're a world champion. But, people come on to Sportswire again, and these different names come on, and they're in these different companies. Some of them have big footsteps: TBW, IMF, DKW, ROEW, Legendary Backyard Wrestlings, and they have the followings, and they're looking at it like, these guys, and again, I love these guys. I think they're all great. They're all great what they're doing. They're going out there and they're putting their bodies on the line. I don't want to make it about me, but this is what the chatter is from your colleagues, your peers, fellow champions that think that these guys, you should be stacking them. You should be knocking them. And these guys, really, they're paper tigers. They're nobodies, basically. You should beat them. That's what they're saying.
As and yeah, I should be a champion. But see, Tom, that's one thing, as I always say, being a champion, this is just a prop. This is something that carries. It's the man that's behind the championship that makes the championship. That's why I have made this championship so relevant, in this business, and I have made myself relevant because everybody acknowledges the fact that how good I am in this ring. Everybody's talking how good that Kraven Rage is. But I don't want everybody to talk about how good a Kraven Rage is. I want people to talk about how good WC is. And when we do put on great shows, we do put on great matches. And we do have great competitors in this business that can go toe-to-toe with anyone.
I think you do. And I think certainly Nicholas Crenson. I certainly think Sean Jovi. I think James Marshall. I think yourself. But then they're becomes almost like a pecking order in the talent that are here. The 4 pillars I mentioned, to me, square up with anybody. I think the match that Jovi and Crenson have had, both those matches. I think even the match that you and Marshall had. I think Charles actually held up okay, but people then look at it and say, well, who else is there? But let me get to more comments here because I do want to talk about one match in particular that got a 5.8 out of 7. Shaq Fu is a crap of a fighting game. Yeah, we spoke about that with Sean Jovi. I remember playing that game as a kid for Super Nintendo, and it was bad then, and watching it on YouTube, which you can go to RCW Rules on the Sean Jovi YouTube page, it was even more worse than I thought back in like 1996, 97. Soldier GP is in the house. If IMF came, we end the reign of Kraven Rage. Well, that's up to be determined. Kraven has pretty much taken all the doubters and made them eat their words. But to me, Nicholas Crenson, the brand new RCW World Underground Champion, I don't know if I feel that way because I'm just naming you all these names from the outside, and they don't seem to be saying those things. I don't know. That's just what I'm hearing. I'll bring a body bag for Kraven for round 3. We'll see. Nicholas Crenson also, though, says that he has been shut up for the doubters. And more from Soldier. Funny, Omen called you out, but you backed out. I'm the only one willing to square up with Omen. All right, I'm going to come to all that, and I actually have some people lined up that want to talk to you, that kind of go into segue with this. But let's talk about something on TikTok that actually maybe put some more eyeballs to WC, which we can follow WC again on YouTube and Facebook at WC Heat on WCHeat.com for the website as well. Showdown in the Yard, July the 8th, coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow. But apparently there was a TikTok review from a well-known reviewer in the world of backyard and other wrestling, Cooper Dragon. And your match with Prince Charles got actually a 5.8 out of 7. And there was really only one, I think, glaring complaint he had about the match. And I think that was kind of really a very minor issue. And that's such a technical one. But for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire, set the tables for us on this review, what it meant to you and obviously to the company.
And honestly, it meant a lot to me because, like I said, Copper Dragon, he reviews our matches, from what as a fan looks at it as, and what can we improve on, what can we do? And he loves our stuff. Yeah, he has rated my matches 5-star matches, with Prince Charles, 6-star matches with JDT, a 5-star match with, James Marshall. And the list goes on, and it's a true honor to get that status where my matches is looking so great, and that's what it's about. I truly don't care about the stars. I love them, but I just care about my matches and how they look. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm here as an entertainer. I'm not here to try to sell asses in the seats. I'm here because I'm that damn good. So I'm here. I don't care about the fans liking me, booing me. I truly don't care. I don't care about what management think. Obviously, I don't care about Mark.
Well, I mean, you low-blowed Mark Packer twice. I mean, you kicked him in the nuts twice in the match, and you had words for him after the match. And I think most matches you win, you usually do something to Mark Packer afterwards. So I don't think anybody would say that you're in the pocket of Mark Packer. Obviously, we've seen Remington Stryker and Omen, let's say, per se, have had a different type of relationship. And even CJ Black and his company have had a different relationship. And I mean, you certainly don't have that. So you don't like Packer, and you haven't won because of Packer. I'll give you that much.
Correct. Like I said, I built this empire. That's why I stand alone. You can't trust a lot of people these days because they would stab you in the back, and that's why I'm still standing, in my empire that I created, I built, because this is a land of opportunities. And that's what it is about. It's pretty much opportunities for people. I made Prince Charles look like a star, even though I pretty much treat him like trash during the whole match.
Well, listen, that's what I said. I mean, listen, Prince gave you a run for his money for what you had in the ring. I will agree with you that Prince showed a little bit of something, but to me, at the end of the day, I mean, you don't get a medal for losing. You didn't win the title. You're the one that's still standing. Sure, did Prince give you more of a fight than most people expected? Sure. Did he prove something to people in the back? Yes. But at the end of the day, he didn't get the job done, just like Adonis. Adonis didn't get the job done. So to me, it's like a broken record almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, I don't make promises
Oh, you
that
should. You're the champion. You have the title, not me. It's your belt.
I don't make promises. I just make guarantees what's going to end up happening.
Oh, you definitely have done that. Now, listen, there's no question that, you've done that. Now, but those that are listening and watching, now, Kraven, obviously, we spoke a little bit about different wrestlers and different champions that have chirped a little bit about you and have said some things and have second guessed you. Now, if I were to say right now, for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, if I had a world champion here that wanted to come on and say something to you here for a few minutes and wanted a face-to-face and have a chat with you, what would you say to that?
I accept.
You accept? Are you sure? This is your final answer?
Yeah.
Because I was somebody who tried out for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So I've been there, I've done that. So are you sure? Is your final answer?
Welcome. Final answer. They can welcome to my night. Welcome to their nightmare.
We are in the ruler of the yard. You are the backyard nightmare. You are the backyard nightmare. So if you are the backyard nightmare, you are the ruler of the yard. For those that are listening and watching here on Sportswire Radio, he is here, another world champion from another promotion who, by the way, is actually on his heels right now because the last time we saw him in the ring, he was pinned by another recent guest of Sportswire Radio, the destructive Jack Delta, but he is here with us live because he has a few things to say to Kraven Rage, the WCE champion. He is the reigning, defending ROEW champion of the world himself, Mr. Jason Storm. Champ, how you doing on a Friday night?
I'm doing well, very well, Mr. Reverend, despite the fact that you mentioned Jack Delta pinning me in quite a fluke way. But enough about that, because Mr. Kraven Rage, a lot of talk about you has been going around, but I think I speak for anybody and everybody watching when I ask, what are you saying? Take that mask off, dude.
Oh, whoa.
Now, Mr. Rage, you talk about building empires, you talk about stacking bodies, and the only reason that title's still on your shoulder is because the wild card, Jason Storm, hasn't showed up to WCE yet. Now, what do you have to say about that?
Whoa.
Jason Storm. You know, you talk about take off my mask. You can't hear what I'm saying. This is who I am. This is what I am. You know what I'm saying? I don't hide behind a mask. I don't hide from nobody. You know, you're looking at the most dominant man in this business here. So you coming here, please, I welcome. Because you come here, I guarantee you'll be going home with nightmares.
Wow.
Talk about nightmares. Thankfully, I don't remember dreams. But whether it's WCE, whether it's the ROEW ring, guarantee one thing, Mr. Kraven. If me and you stand face to face in the middle of a ring, it's going to end like this. Storm Cutter, 1, 2, 3, like I've done to all the other big names. And I'm going to be either holding this championship or that pretty little championship you got on your shoulder above your lifeless body.
Wait a minute. Time out. Jason Storm, the wild card that you are. Did you just say that title, one of the premier prizes in this sport for all the yarders, the WC All Out Championship, that you want that championship on your other shoulder? Is that what you just said for those that are listening and watching live?
Absolutely. Whether it's WCE, the TBW Championship, UWA Championship, you name them, I'm adding them to my collection.
You want to add something to your collection. You want to add this title, one of the richest prizes in this industry, to your collection. You know, I have accomplished a lot of things But that's one thing I definitely would love to accomplish. Another company's title.
Ooh. Ooh, it looks like Kraven Rage is going on the offense here, Jason Storm. He's not impressed, and he's probably seen the fact that you were pinned in tag team action, and what the good guy CJ Black and Jack Delta did to you and your tag team partner there. I mean,
Now
you guys were done a problem.
We all saw that bullshit tag from CJ Black, but my main question is, Mr. Rage, why was I left waiting for you to appear on this show? 10 p.m. means 10 p.m., sir. Were you scared that I might actually show up? Were you scared that I might actually challenge you? Because I am here. And when I say I'm going to be somewhere, I show up. And I show up on time.
Whoa.
Well, I'll put it like this. This is my kingdom. I can show up anytime I want. Everybody's beneath me, even you. I have faced a lot of people. You better look at my record. Ran people out of people out of town way bigger than you. So me facing you, I'll definitely put my title on the line, because this legacy will never end. It'll be an honor to have you as my next victim.
Wait, but I have a question, though, because Kraven Rage, I think it's established, right, that you're going to hang on to the WC championship. Now, are you putting your championship on the line? Because Mr. Storm, the wild card, because I got to break it here for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, because we have a lot of people tuned in right now, and I want to let them know that you're coming back next Sunday with somebody that I am sure you have no love for, the good guy, CJ Black. You guys are going to be here in a face-off. So there's going to certainly be, especially after what Delta did to you. I mean, let's say this match were to happen. Can we even, let's say, count on the fact that you're going to hang on to that championship? I know you're coughing there. I know it's tough. I mean,
You're making me feel sick talking about CJ Black, but rest assured, Mr. Reverend, Mr. Rage, this championship is staying on my shoulder for a long, long time, longer than your reign will ever be, Mr. Kraven.
Oh, I think we lost him. There we go. Here we go. Go ahead.
Excuse me. The only thing craving is you craving for attention when you call out names like Jason Storm. And rest assured, I will put you down 1, 2, 3. You, sir, are officially in the eye of the storm.
Let me tell you something, Storm. Everybody has made empty promise how they're going to bring me down. And that's your biggest mistake. You know what I'm saying? You have not been in the ring with something like me.
But conversely, though, to be fair, you haven't been in a ring with him, and he's faced off with CJ Black. He's been in there side by side with a Jacob Collins, a C Money, a Jack Delta. I mean, we spent 15 minutes talking about Adonis Felios and Prince Charles, almost like, it was like when Mike Tyson was the heavyweight champion of the world, and he was facing guys like Bruce Seldon and Frank Bruno and Peter McNeely and James Bone Crusher Smith and Razor Ruddock. I mean, he's with the top yarders.
And I'm looking for the top yarders, and that's what I want, because I want to end the top yarders.
Well, on that note, I like that. Now, that note, I think that's something we all can agree upon. I want everybody, while we're here right now, to please follow both companies, Wrestling Championship Entertainment, WC Heat on Facebook, on YouTube, where you can watch great matches. Also, ROEW Backyard Wrestling on YouTube and Instagram. Also, follow Kraven Rage. Kraven Rage is now also on Instagram now. Jason Storm is also on Instagram now. Please follow both of them. You can follow Kraven Rage now. He is Kraven.Rage43. So as simple as that, Kraven.Rage43, the brand new Instagram. Go check it out, because he is the Backyard Nightmare, and he'll give you nightmares if you don't go and follow his page on Instagram. Jason.Storm.BYW on Instagram. Instagram. Make sure you follow him. He is our ROEW champion of the world. My name is the Reverend Tom Brice. And also, I have here some comments. So people want to say some things. A lot of them here. For what reason, I can't open it up. Oh, there we go. Perfectly. James Marshall says, are you going to truly accept? Soldier GP says, I've been known to go to another company and bring home their championship, a.k.a. that DKW Hardcore Championship. Cheap plug. DKW coverage Thursday night. Be there or be square on Sportswire. Adonis Felio says, ouch, savage. JR Wind, follow Majestic Championship Wrestling. Yes, definitely follow them. We may one day own WC and bring relevancy back to Wisconsin. Well, that's something you're going to have to talk to Mark Packer about. That's something that's here nor there. Shots have definitely been fired. I think somebody we're going to be hearing from here in a few minutes is also here. Jason Storm, get in line like everyone else. Well, he's a champion, though, Skullz. He's the champion. I'm going to get to you, Skullz, in a few minutes. So be there. I'm going to go. We going to say something, Kraven? Go ahead.
Jason Storm, I accept your challenge. Any day, anytime, any place.
Anywhere? This could be anywhere.
Anytime, any place. I accept your challenge, and I will put my title on the line.
Whoa.
Well, you can rest assured, Kraven, that if you're putting your championship on the line, I'll most certainly put mine up for grabs too. You can show up to the ROEW arena anytime. And when I find the time around my busy schedule, I don't know if y'all know, I just got married. I got a kid on the way. I'm a busy man, but I'd be happy to come to Wisconsin and slap the piss out of you.
Well, we got showdown in the yard, and they got an anniversary. So, and I'm running out of opponents. I need some more victims, and I'm looking at my next one right here.
Well, all right. Well, you know what? I think that's something we'd love to see happen here. Obviously, next Sunday, I'll definitely have you on here, Mr. Storm, and I'm sure that Mr. Black, though, and Mr. Delta will certainly feel differently about you with that title on your shoulder there. Obviously, I think we all can count on the fact that Kraven Rage is going to hang on here and continue to be champion in WCE, but obviously, you're the one that's going to have that, certainly a question here, I think, for when it comes to holding that title. I do have a bunch of more comments here. Let me get to the comments. Before you get to
okay. Go ahead. Get to the comments.
Let me get to the comments here first, because a lot of people want to talk. I think people right now are really fired up right now. I'm putting a request in for management, me versus Kraven 3. Well, that's up to Packer. Maybe that could happen. Soldier GP says, knock, knock. I'm knocking on the WCE door, but Kraven ain't answering. Ooh, I think somebody might be talking about that in a little while. I may not like this Jason Storm guy because I'm truly a friend of CJ Black, but I can already tell that he's scared of Storm, meaning Kraven Rage is scared of Storm. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
And it seems to me that the nemesis himself, James Taylor, is in the house. Where Sportswire goes these days, it seems to be that the nemesis is in the house. Kraven got this, so it looks like some Kraven fans are here. We've got some Kraven. Mark Packer will be fired. Well, what does JR Wynn know that we don't know on Sportswire that Mark Packer will be whacked and fired? I don't know. Kraven ain't answering. Congratulations on the kid, Jason Storm, having a 6-month-old here. Myself, congratulations on the baby. You certainly did well. You certainly did well with your wife now, your beautiful wife. Obviously, you definitely did well there. You did well. I challenge you, Kraven. You ran from me. Something tells me here that this is to be continued. By the way, welcome to the club of being a dad. So, yeah, congratulations, Storm.
Thank you.
But let me give you the opportunity now that you wanted to speak. Go ahead, Storm.
You were saying before that CJ Black, Jack Delta are going to have something to say about me holding this championship. So let me put it to you this way. Whether it's CJ Black, Jack Delta, Kraven Rage, the only way someone's pulling this championship off of my shoulder is if they're pulling it out of my casket. Because you're going to have to kill me to grab this championship off of me. I am going on the run of a lifetime. I'm going to be the longest ROEW champion in history. I'm going to be the longest reigning backyard wrestling world champion in history. And I don't give a damn what anybody, any yarder, any fan has to say about that. It's just as simple as a fact.
Well, we're going to find out. I will certainly tell you that you are under the gun, Jason Storm. I mean, to be fair, Kraven has proven in his company that his people, he stacked them and knocked them down. You have some stiff competition. You have a guy in CJ Black who will certainly stop at nothing to make sure you fail. And especially now that you're in this spotlight representing ROEW, which again here, ROEW Backyard Wrestling. And speaking of Mr. Black, he is here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, absolutely not. Get this bum off my screen. I guess a taste of Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern time. You want to say something to CJ Black before I move on to something else with you and Mr. Kraven Rage?
First of all, I'd like to make it known that it took CJ Black so long to get in here and send a message because he doesn't know how to spell or type because he's an idiot. Secondly, Kraven and CJ Black have two things in common. They like beating up bums and jobbers while Jason Storm beats up the biggest and baddest names in all the backyard wrestling.
Well, I mean, that's a tough one. The only difference I'll say between Black and Kraven is the ruler of his yard. He's the backyard nightmare. Black, I don't know yet. I mean, CJ Black, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to find out Sunday. I'm going to find out when you and him have a face-off. I'm going to certainly, be objective. I'm going to call this down the line. Sometimes you're not going to like me. He's not going to like me sometimes. But that's why we're here on Sportswire. We try to be neutral, give everybody a shot. So that's what I'm saying here. So we'll have to find out on that. Go ahead.
I think Kraven runs around saying that he's the emperor of his yard and the kingdom of his yard is because he hasn't had the likes of Jason Storm step into his ring. And God forbid, I hate this man so much, but I don't believe he's ever faced against a Jack Delta or even a CJ Black. He can beat up all the people in Wisconsin he wants, all names I've never heard of before. But when I show up, I'm going to shatter your kingdom. I'm going to crumble your empire, and your dreams, your nightmares, whatever you want to call them, Kraven, they're all going to be broken, just like your bones, just like your title reign.
All right, now before I get to a few more comments, I want to ask you both this question. Because again, I'm not good at math, right? I don't know much about anything. But so how far is it between Wisconsin and Michigan?
Well, driving distance, it'd be a good 8-9 hours to get to Kraven, but what a good 8-9 hours it would to go whoop his ass. So whatever the miles, whatever the distance, whether it's train, plane, bus, you name it, I will be there one day and I will take that championship off of your shoulder.
Kraven, I see you getting up. You took the title. Go ahead and say something. You took it off your shoulder and put it onto a different one. Speak up, champ, because I got
okay.
Want to do
okay, you want to throw the title on a different shoulder too? Can play at that game.
It's getting dicey here on Sports tonight.
You say you 8 or 9 hours. Well, I'm sitting in the arena right now. It's easy for you to come on down and I would destroy Jason Storm.
See,
and that is not a promise. That is a guarantee.
Clearly are lacking in IQ because if I'm traveling from Michigan to Wisconsin, I wouldn't be traveling down, my friend. I'd be traveling to the side and up. So maybe fact check yourself before you start spewing nonsense.
Well, they definitely call you a wild card here, but I got some comments here. Soldier GP says any company storm. And apparently Iowa and Michigan could be a similar travel here. I maybe killed Midnight Devil after our Ring of Destruction match. That you certainly did. Adonis Felios, the Drip King. I know he wants to say something. I can't guarantee I'm going to get him on here. A lot of people want to say something to Kraven Rage tonight, and they're champions, most of them. Confidence is key. You want to make a championship mean something. You have to carry it like a champion. You fight like a champion. The easy part is getting the gold. The real challenge is holding on to it, and I think that's a point for you, Storm, because you're the one that could be in the eye of the storm in ROEW because you've got Delta and Black who will stop at nothing to take that championship away from you because they will do like there's no tomorrow. It's not till next Sunday. Yeah, I said that. You might want to get your ears checked because I'm the one with the microphone. And just a reminder, CJ Black, because I am going to call it down the line. I'm going to be very much similar to the old Piper's Pits, where I'm going to be right down that middle, kind of like when Roddy Piper came back in the WWE in the early 90s. I will lay down the law. I'm just going to let you know, CJ Black. I'm not some pushover little, podcaster or some little guy that you beat up in RWW with a referee, or I'm a Mark Packer in WC. I will give you credit when it's due, but you're the one that needs to get your ears checked. I will see you next Sunday. It will be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. When you're right, I'll tell you you're right. On this note, though, you're not right, and we'll see who's the good guy. But promise that I will be neutral and I will call it right down the line, because that's what I do here on Sportswire. We call it right down the line. So we'll definitely see you then.
You see how CJ Black just thinks he knows everything, like he
well,
runs everything?
Well, first of all, Sportswire, we're the #1 global radio station. It's my platform. We're the one that has hundreds of wrestlers from England that come on here. We're the ones that have all the backyard people come on here. We're the ones that have the college basketball players, the professional athletes, the politicians. They're the ones that want to come on here. So it's my platform, my show, and we're going to make sure that it's down the line. So CJ, my advice to you is the last thing you want to do is call out the guy that you're going to do the interview with. But we'll call it when you're right, you're right. And you are right on one thing. Jason Storm's going to have a tough time holding on to that title here. So that I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt on. And Kraven has managed to do that. Yes, Kraven has managed to do that here for a long time. Adonis Adonis Felios is certainly getting it here from a lot of people tonight. That's where I'm with Omen Black on. Adonis is certainly taking one here from the team. It's 3 hours from Iron Mountain up on any UP location. All right, you know what? I have to move on, Jason Storm, because I have somebody else that wants to speak to Kraven Rage, and there's a long line of people that want to say something to Mr. Rage tonight because he's kind of opened up the Pandora's box, it seems. So, Storm, I'm going to give you a few thoughts between now and next Sunday. Anything you want to say to anybody else out there listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, and a final thought or two for Kraven Rage before who knows when. The floor is yours.
Yeah, first of all, anybody listening, anybody watching, everybody commenting, if you're not talking about Kraven Rage, if you're not talking about Jason Storm, you should simply shut your mouth. Omen Black, whoever it may be, you can come to ROEW, step up to this championship too. Whatever yard, I'll see you when I see you, boys. And Mr. Kraven Rage, it has been a pleasure. I know I've talked circles around you. I know I've kind of maybe even embarrassed you a little. I seen you laughing over there a little bit, but hey, when we step into the ring together, make no mistake about it, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to break your bones, and I'm taking your championship back to Michigan and back to ROEW.
Well, I'm going to defend Kraven Rage on one thing here, Jason Storm. You are certainly very confident, but I would say one thing. Kraven Rage does have the experience of being a champion, a dominant champion, and he's been in this business a long time. Well, I appreciate that you've taken on a much more, how can I say, energetic tone tonight. Kraven Rage is still the guy that's been at the top of the mountain. So we'll certainly see. I'm going to be with Kraven on that one point, but I'm going to give you your due where due is due. So I want everybody to follow you on Instagram at jason.storm.byw, Kraven.rage43. He's hanging out with us. I am sure my good buddy CJ can get me there to bring order back to ROEW. Well, that would be interesting. A black and black tag team. I'm trying to think. There was famously a tour back in 1980. It was Blue Oyster Cult and Black Sabbath. They called it the Black and Blue Tour. That would almost be like a great tag team name. The Black and Black team, I guess. Black and Black, maybe B&B. I don't know. But CJ Black wants to I'll add podcast. Well, I'm not a podcaster. I'm actually a live radio show host. And just remember where I'm from, which is New York, which is the kings of the attitude. But I like what you do in the ring. Yep, I like what you do in the ring, CJ Black. I'm going to give you due where due is due, and I'm going to call it right down the line. Just remember that here. So you may be able to get one up on your ROEW friends when it comes to management or outsmart the champions, but I'm the sheriff in town here on Sportswire. But I like what you do in the ring. Yep, Jason
Storm.
Say one more thing before we let him go. Kraven,
I'm listening. Go ahead.
You are very good. I have watched you. I have seen your stuff. You're very good. Congratulations on having a kid. But when you come to me, Remember, fear is nothing to be afraid of, but nightmares are. And you will be looking at your nightmare.
Welcome to my nightmare, possibly for Jason Storm. I don't know, but Kraven Rage saved some impactful words for last. Maybe it was his best for last. Champ, Mr. Storm, congratulations on the baby. Congratulations on being a husband. I look forward to seeing what you do in certainly the married life and being a father. I'm sure you'll be a great father. Keep up the good work on that. We'll certainly see you next Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time with the good guy, CJ Black. So we'll certainly see what you guys have to say. You're kind of face-to-face here live. Very excited about that. ROEW Backyard Wrestling. Follow them on Instagram and YouTube. And Champ, we will definitely see you next Sunday, and let's see what happens.
Thanks for having me again, Tom. And Kraven, we'll have to see about that little nightmare threat you have. Goodbye for now, buddy.
All right, and that was the ROEW champion of the world here, Jason Storm, who was with us here. Had a few things to say with you, Kraven Rage. Now, Kraven, I have a few comments here before another individual comes on here who apparently is supposed to be your opponent. Now, you have there's a few more guests tonight that actually want to say something to you. So I'm going to, first of all, bring this guest. I'm waiting for them to connect. Apparently, they're having a hard time connecting. But well, in the meantime, let me read off the more comments here. Black and Blue is Tim Mecca's finisher. Tim Mecca, we know him very well. Love the Meccas. I think this individual you might be seeing here says, chill out and get in line. You fear me, Kraven, so that little promo means absolutely nothing from you. So Omen Black, still not impressed, Kraven, but remains to be seen on that. But if you are listening and you are watching on Sportswire Radio, I thank you. A lot of people tuned in tonight. If you're on Facebook, continue to follow us. Even though we have a temporary block, we're on Sportswire Radio. Well over 600 followers. My personal page is Tom Brice. If you are also on YouTube right now, we're on Sportswire Radio. So I thank you. If you're a new subscriber, thank you for tuning in, for sticking with me throughout the years. If you are out there on sportnarium.com/play, we play 24 hours of talk, music, podcast, you name it. We play it. I'm the man that runs the dial. So thank you for that. Also, I'm on Instagram at the Sports Report 2021. A lot of new followers. Thank you for that. And my name again is the Reverend Tom Brice, and we are waiting for our guest. And before I bring on the guest here, Kraven, what was your impressions of Mr. Storm?
Very impressive. I'm very impressed that he took the guts to step up to me. But he's going to be another victim. And I'm looking forward to him showing up here. Hopefully he show up in August.
Okay, well, all right. So, I mean, what's today? June 23rd, right? So we got some time. We're still in the prime time season here in WC. So, obviously we'll have to figure that out here. And Omen Black is going to continue to chatter, and I have a feeling you might be seeing Mr. Black. Nothing that comes from Kraven says impressive. I think there is going to be people that feel that until you step into the ring with somebody. Because again, I know Adonis and Prince, they gave you something out there, but there is going to be that chatter. There's no question that you're going to continue to face that chatter throughout here. And there's nothing you can do about it, nothing I can do about it. Apparently, one of our guests says it will not let him come on. I'm not quite sure why that's on his note. I will certainly see maybe if we can get him back on in like 10 or 15 minutes. But I have a guest as a backup that wants to speak to you. And I'm sure that person is going to have a lot to say about you, because I think you called him out at some point. So we'll certainly let them, have a few chats at you. That'll probably drive some people in here crazy. So I'll actually do that here shortly. And I think Skullz is saying, well, actually, that's the person we're trying to get on here is Skullz. It's not letting me on. Well, Skullz, you have to check your settings. If you're viewing it, I gave you the link. So if the link I gave you doesn't work, you need to go back on either a phone or a laptop. So I'm going to send you another link here. So what I'm going to wind up doing here is sending you another link. I'm going to bring you back up here in a second. So let's see if that works. And I'm going to see, in the meantime, I'm going to bring in the next guest who I think has something to say to you. So I'm waiting for that person. So obviously it worked for Kraven. Also, Mason O'Malley says sup. Do we know a Mason O'Malley here? I guess not. But in the meantime, now I would have to say this, Mr. Kraven Rage. This individual is a legend, some would say, in backyard wrestling. He is somebody that has a massive following. While we wait for Skullz to come on here in a little while, would you like me to bring on this next guest who wants to say something to you? In many ways, it feels like this person is going to be maybe more on your level and experience, some may say. Would you like me to bring this individual on here who is certainly no stranger to Sportswire Radio and, as some may say, is a legend and a backyard wrestling Hall of Famer, some might say?
Sure.
All right, so if you want this person here, are you sure? Is your final answer?
I love speaking to legends.
You love speaking of legends. All right, so you sure you want this guy, though?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to bring him on here, and that is none other. Boy, what a surprise here. Surprise, surprise. Skull's going to have to wait here, unfortunately, because he got here first after your technical difficulties. We are here with none other than the host of the Nemesis Sessions. He is also the man behind the Promo Wrestling Federation. His YouTube page, Taft Taylor, has well over 35,000 subscribers. In TBW, he is one of the biggest names around. He is somebody that has made his bones in this sport. He is somebody here that a lot of people always want to hear. He is certainly needs no introduction, but he gets one anyway. And his name is the Nemesis James Taylor, a.k.a. the Tyrant King. Mr. Taylor, long time no speak. How are you?
I'm great, Mr. Tom. How you doing?
An interesting last 6 or 7 hours on my end, but what's on your mind tonight? Because it seems like tonight this is your life for me, and people wanting to talk to our guest here, Kraven Rage, a man that I think you have been in his mouth a couple of different times over the past few shows. I mean, I give you the floor now to speak to Kraven. This is the first time I think you guys are introduced to each other, right?
I believe so, face to face. I've seen his work. I've seen a little bit of what he's about, and don't underestimate me. But that's not about me. It's really the fact that this is about you, Mr. Kraven Rage. And has James Taylor seen you and what you've done with that little strap you got on your shoulder right now? You're damn right I have. I know you got a little issues going on with everybody all over the world and IMF guys and whatnot. And my hat's off to you for holding 400 something days of your reign. Pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. The problem though is you ain't met me. Because see, if I walked into the doors of your company, I know it's going to sound a little, arrogant right here. Maybe that's just part of me. Any guy is going to come up and tell you the same thing. I know it. But the thing is, they can't back their shit up like I can. See, I would walk right up to you. I'd shake your hand. And then I'd tell you, when our match starts, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, it wouldn't matter. Because at the end of the match, you'd look at the new world champion, period. Kraven Rage, I'm not going to underestimate you, though. I know you're a badass. I know you've been in the business probably a little longer than me.
27 years.
But for a guy who's been doing it on and off for 25 years, on and off now, we've already discussed that number because people like to talk about the numbers.
And there's people here tonight that are certainly in the chat that would dispute you on that. They
don't matter to me.
Okay.
They've never been in my shoes. The fact is I back up every word I say. What it is that I know what I'm doing. I've got a PhD right between those ropes where you're sitting your sorry ass at right now. I like you, but I don't like you. If I got in the ring with you, I'd lock up with you and I would beat you and I would show you why I am everything that I say I am. You call yourself the Nightmare of the Yard. I'm the Tyrant King in the middle of your world. I am the Tyrant King in all of backyard wrestling. I am the Tyrant King. I am the Nemesis James Taylor, and you will know my name. Now, Mr. Rage, I just wanted to come in, veteran to veteran, and say, despite whether it's a title or no title, I think we'd have a hell of a matchup. It would be definitely interesting. Not saying I'm coming up there, not saying you're coming down here. The world is going to do its mysterious things, and hey, never say never in this business. You should know those words better than anybody, just like me. Never say never, because, hey, the world didn't think that old Jack Delta would want to face James Taylor, and sure enough, it happened. And hey, it don't matter who it is. When you look from one corner to the other and you look at the eyes of the Tyrant King, a 12-time world champion in the backyard in my career, it don't matter how many times I've won it. Every time I've held that title, I have shown the sacrifice that it takes and bled and sweat and teared for that gold. All that matters to me now, it's not championships. It matters about having the best match on the card. You can watch. This is my last words, and you can. I want you to say whatever you want to say out of respect to you, champ. Watch TBW Anniversary 6 and watch what James Taylor does to the Prophet J. Wilde in a 2 out of 3 falls match, and you'll see why I am everything that I say that I am. Champ.
The floor is yours, Kraven Ray. Certainly a mouthful as always from Mr. Tyrant King, James Taylor. Go ahead, Kraven. You're the champ. It's
Mr. Taylor, it's a great honor that you popped up. I do, with all due respect, I do respect you that you've been in this business off and on for 25 years. I know the sacrifices. I know how it is. I've been in this business for 27 years. And I have fought my way to the bottom, all the way to the top of the mountain. And I know, you will give me a good fight. But at the end of the day, you're going to do just like everybody else. Fall to me and acknowledge the fact that I'm just that damn good.
Is that it? I'm a little disappointed. You've got a little more years than me, Jack. I'm a little disappointed. I had expected more from you. You know how many men have stepped to me, looked me right in my face, and told me they were going to beat me, but didn't. I expect a champion, a world champion like you, to back up. Like I told that little bastard that was on here earlier, Jason Storm, all respect to him. And I've seen a fire lit under his ass ever since that podcast or since that Sportswire radio segment that we had, Mr. Tom. I've seen him in his last few matches. He's had a fire lit up his ass. I think a little bit of what I said helped him out even more. I'd expect more from you, Kraven.
Well,
I expect a little bit of fire under your ass. You said there's
the reason why there's no
that
fire
mask
under
of
me.
yours.
The reason why there's no fire under me because nobody's on my level. That's
you're right. You're probably 2 or 3 levels below me, son. I've been at the top. That mountain. That mountain that you're sitting on, I've buried bodies under that mountain for 23 years, 24 years, 25, whatever you want to call it. Anytime I get in the ring, I bury bodies under that mountain that you sit on.
Yeah, and I have ran people out of this business too.
Your mountain is in the middle of my world.
I have ran people out of this business. People you don't hear from no more. You don't hear from them. You don't see them.
Come on,
I'm
kid.
not afraid. I'm definitely ready.
I'm going to tell you like Cena told Roman Reigns before he got hot. It's a promo. If you're going to do it, you're going to be the big dog. You're going to have to learn to cut a promo. Cut a promo on James Taylor, and I might respect you a little bit.
You show up, and I might respect you.
I don't need your respect, kid.
You show up here, and then I might acknowledge you.
I don't need no acknowledgement. The fact is, when I get in the ring, you would be honored to step into the ring with me, and I would humble you, Kraven. You've got
probably
a lot of people
talk about showing up, but they don't show up. So if you step here, then I will respect you. But right now, I don't respect you because I don't see you here.
Is that a shoot? Is that a shoot, Kraven? Are you shooting there, Kraven Rage? Are you trying to imply that people don't show up? Are you trying? Is that what you're implying here? Is that a shoot?
Yeah. People don't show up because they're afraid.
You think that sounds like something, Mr. Taylor? That's fighting words to me. I think that's fighting words from what the grapevine says. And I don't know if it's about you, but it sounds like it's a shoot tonight. That does not sound like this was scripted where we had set on a chat and phone call and said, hey, we're going to say this. This sounds like that was something between the yards almost. But it's a blur. The lines are blurred right now. That's fighting words to me. Fighting words.
The doors open on this side of the world as well, very easily. I mean, you could come right on down here and show up. Why don't you just spread your wealth across the United States? Come on down to Tennessee, step into a TBW ring, 18 by 18 squared circle, step between my ropes. Any ring that I step in is my ring. You're sitting your ass in the middle of my ring. You got 10 pounds of gold on your shoulder. Tom, I don't even know why I'm sitting here arguing with a guy who looks like he works at Hot Topic and has a fetish of some sort.
Do we still have Hot Topics around, by the way? I remember those were a thing back in like 2003 when you went to
there's Hot Topics all over the place down here.
Okay.
My wife loves them, but that's beside the point.
Okay.
Like I said, welcome. You more than welcome to come here. I'm sitting in my throne anytime.
You're sitting on your throne because you ain't had nobody else actually knock you off that throne that's worthy enough. You know what? I'm interested to see the fact of these IMF guys, if they show up, to see what they do with you and see how it goes then. After that, we'll see what happens. James Taylor could show up one day. Hell, Kraven Reigns could show up down here one day. Whatever the case may be, if one day me and you step in the ring, it's going to be an easy 1, 2, 3 for the Tyrant King. Plain and simple, Jack. I'm not going to acknowledge you. I can't acknowledge you. I can't acknowledge a man who sounds like he's suffocating behind his mask. I'm not worried about you. I like you, but I don't like you. I respect you, but I don't really truly respect you until I stepped in the ring with you. I didn't respect Jack Delta, but the bastard showed up. He got in the ring with me, and he showed me he could go. Yeah, he didn't get the easy 1, 2, 3. It was a fight for him, but nonetheless, win, lose, or draw. I am the best in that ring, period. Can't nobody tell me different.
What? You just talking. I'm here.
Yeah, you like to fight, right?
I love to fight. I'm a fighting champion. I have held this title for over 400 days.
That's just a number to me. Now the new number is probably going to be, or the new question is when. How much longer does Kraven Rage have before he loses it? It don't matter if it's 490. It don't matter if it's 590. What matters is when is he going to lose that championship? Because that's the only thing that's kind of keeping you relevant.
Oh, no, this is not keeping me relevant. I'm relevant because without this title, I can do good without this title. I put on 5-star matches, 6-star matches, you name them.
Cooper Dragon gave him 5.8 out of 7 on TikTok, by the way. I mean, that there is a point to be made.
And a 6-star match against JDT, one of the best in this business. And I ran him out to another company.
You believe you'd run me out?
Now, some may say, though, Mr. Tyrant King, Mr. Taylor, I mean, what Kraven was saying,
remember?
Well, what Kraven was saying, I think really did sort of go below the belt. Not my opinion, but he was basically implying that you tell companies that you don't go there. Now, that's not my words. That's what it sounded to me. That's what Kraven was saying. So what Kraven maybe is saying is that, can we count on you showing up in a ring? Maybe if it's not even a WC ring, maybe it's somewhere in between. I don't know what the distance is between Wisconsin and Tennessee or Georgia, wherever it might be. But if there's a middle ground, maybe, there has to be some give and take supposed to make this happen. But I mean, there is a thought of mine from some people, not mine. I love you. You're one of my favorites. I always watch your videos. I like your stuff on Instagram. You tag me. You can do anything you want. We love everyone on Sportswire. But there are some people that feel out there, you're never going to change people's minds. You know that. You're a veteran. I'm a veteran. We're all veterans here, right? Mm-hmm. And there's going to be people that feel that if you say to Kraven, you're going to have this match, you're not going to go and show up.
So if anybody's been listening, I didn't say that I was showing up.
Okay.
I didn't say he was showing up. I'm just saying you never know. Anything can happen. Never say never in this business. I didn't know when I'd face a guy from Michigan, but it happened. Luck of the draw, the universe lined up, the stars aligned, and then it ended up happening. Does it mean that I don't want to go to somewhere like Iowa Or does it mean that I don't
Oh,
want
so
to go
you've
to
heard of
somewhere
Iowa
like,
then? You have heard of
I
Iowa.
don't want to go to somewhere like Wisconsin or wherever to face somebody? No, of course I want to. I am looking to do some traveling. And I still got that big announcement coming up. And after TBW anniversary, everybody, the whole world
And
will hear the
from
announcement.
what I understand, I spoke to somebody that is a longtime opponent of yours today, this afternoon on Sportswire Radio, and we have a big TBW show that was just released. We're going to watch that after we're off the air here. And from my understanding, the anniversary show is going to be released at some point here in the near and distant future. And I have somebody that you're going to know very well that's going to come on from TBW, and I'm almost certain that we're going to see you there in that spot. And I'm sure we're going to get your own standalone spot here once again on Sportswire, because the Nemesis Sessions is right now on break. So I guess that means you have time to come on Sportswire, but I'm sure that you're going to be seeing some friends of yours, or maybe not so friends of yours, in that TBW locker room real soon on Sportswire.
Definitely. If you watched this past week on Rampage,
please don't spoil it, because I was given it from one of your friends to watch the show. I was given the link personally, so please don't spoil it yet. Tell us a synopsis, but don't tell us what happens. Give us a synopsis.
And that's this past week's episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Correct.
I just made an announcement about what's going to happen at anniversary. And then something happened on the sideshow PWF, not my PWF, but TBW's like NXT type thing.
We saw you in Delta, yep.
Yeah, exactly. That same stage, which is the last stop before anniversary, a situation happened. So go check those out. I did put that into my onto my channel, that whole segment. So be sure to check that out if you haven't. Look, Rage, look, kid, I like you. I do respect you. Okay, I'm a little in character. Maybe I'm a little bit hot and bothered because I got Jay Wild on the mind. I got someone's ass to whip, and I know you know what it means to get ready for a fight. And I'm psyched up for a fight. I'm only a few days away from this big matchup. And if you want to know anything about what I'm about, go and check out that matchup and watch what I do to him. And that will give you a little bit of an example of what I would do to anybody, even you, if we were to ever step into the ring together. With all due respect.
All right. Well, you know what? We can certainly find all that out. Taft Taylor on YouTube, Taft_Taylor on Instagram. I do have somebody else that's patiently waiting, which could be Mr. Rage's actual next opponent. Anything else you want to say here, Mr. Taylor or Mr. Tyrant King? I'm not sure what I should call you these days, but I'll call you maybe both. Anything else you want to say here? Especially, I know I have a lot of people who have said some comments. I'm almost going to say hello to a few of those people. The Painmaker, Joshua Allen, said it's near your bedtime. Some guys from Iowa have said a few things. They're going to be basically coming on. Just a heads up, they're coming on in a little while, and they're going to certainly have some things to say. But I have two more guests in between that. So some people have said some different things, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Anything else you want to say, though, before we let you move on and get to my next person here, who is someone that Mr. Rage is going to be seeing really, really soon for real?
So, Rage, I'm actually going to let you be the one to have the opportunity to say any last words or ask me any questions you want before I go, with all due respect. But remember one thing, the difference between you and me is, this might sound a little bit arrogant and cocky, but between you and me, I think my name's a little more relevant than yours. I don't have to have a championship to make myself relevant. People know me for who I am and my following, and I will gladly come on to Sportswire with Tom. I'd gladly go on to the Nemesis Sessions. I'll go to TBW, anywhere it would be, to make my presence known so people understand who I am, because my name in the backyard region, the backyard community, is known because of who I am. No disrespect, but I didn't even know who in the red hell Kraven Rage was before I met you just a couple of months ago. Now, with all due respect, son, you say whatever you want, ask me whatever you want, give me any threats you want. I'm going to shut up now, Tom. I know you got a busy show to run, but Rage, the floor is yours. You can ask me anything and I'll answer it. You can tell me anything, and I'll just listen.
What are you afraid of?
Is that a real question? I'm afraid of what I might do to the bathroom after I eat a big meal. I'm afraid of let's face it, I ain't afraid of nothing. I ain't afraid of no man. I ain't afraid of nothing in this world. I'll look it right dead in the eye and wait for it to take me out. I am begging somebody to put me out of my misery. I get in the ring. Even when I go to the anniversary to face Jay Wild, I'm going to look him right in his eyes and say, if you're going to defeat me, you better break every bone in my body. And I would tell you the same, Rage.
Well, I see this. Whenever you're ready to step up, I'm willing to accept to put an old dog down, like Old Yellow.
Ooh. Every dog has its day, and certainly they do say that dog days can be numbered for everybody. We'll have to see. Will we see it one day? A dream match in the making, possibly. Forget about any other match you would have thought you could have seen. Brock and Bobby, Roman and Cena. All that stuff will be thrown out the window, especially if the likes of Kraven Rage, the WC All-Out Champion of the World, and the legendary Backyard Hall of Fame, like the Tyrant King himself, James Taylor, who has well over 35,000 subscribers on YouTube, countless more on TikTok, Instagram also. He's getting ready for another stream, another game. I have no doubt you'll see him real soon on Sportswire Radio. Taff_Taylor Instagram, Taff Taylor on YouTube. Mr. Tyrant King, thank you as always. I certainly know that we'll have some conversations ahead in the near and distant future. Can't wait to watch the next TBW show, which I'm going to watch again from an individual friend of yours that gave me that link. So I'll be watching that, ready to talk about it for sure very soon with you, my friend.
Thank you. Good seeing you, Rage, and good luck to you.
Well, Kraven Rage, I'm going to go right into it because there's somebody that wants to see you that's been waiting. And you're going to be seeing them apparently real soon. And he's no stranger to Sportswire Radio. He's now a member of the WC roster. Now, apparently, contractually, now I could be saying something here, Skullz. I don't know if this is accurate. I want to make sure if Mark Packer cleared it, also with you, Kraven. But apparently, Kraven, your next opponent, July the 8th, Showdown in the Yard, is Skullz, the Soul Hunter. I mean, Skullz. Is this true? And what do you have to say tonight here on Sportswire Live? Skullz.
So, Kraven, the time is ticking. Yes, the time is ticking for you, Kraven. It's just a matter of time before I show up. The question is, are you ready?
Skullz, the Soul Hunter. You know, people's been asking, who is Skullz, the Soul Hunter? Where is Skullz, the Soul Hunter? Who have seen Skullz, the Soul Hunter? You know, honestly, I don't care. Because Skullz, you always talking that you would come and collect my soul, and I have told you over and over, how can you collect somebody that doesn't even have a soul? But the question that you need to ask yourself, what is you going to do when you step in front of the ruler of the yard, the backyard nightmare, a beast and reincarnated that will dominate you and give your soul nightmares? How can you hunt that? Because July 8th, Skullz, I will be hunting for your soul when I bury you in this ring.
You know, Skullz, there is a point that Kraven Rage has made And I've heard this from different locker rooms, different wrestlers across the world. Now, we know we like you, Skullz. We wear your shirt. We support you and your endeavors. But there are people out there and go, who is this guy, Skullz? There's no footage of you. There's no wrestling content. Now, this is not me. This is the opinion. This is real here. This is opinions that people say, and they say, what do I expect from this guy? He's got no ring ability in terms of where I can find what he brings to the table. You're going up in there with a world champion. I mean, you did this through here. To be fair, this is all because of you coming on Sportswire, calling out Kraven. But you've got this match now at the Backyard Nightmare, and people are wondering, like, who are you? Skullz.
I'm a man. I'm a man who wrestled 14 years ago, before there was a Facebook, a YouTube, Twitter. The only thing I was around was MySpace.
No, I agree, but guys like James
And
Taylor,
that's-
who was on in 2000, I'm with you, Skullz. But for some people, that's not good enough. There's people out there saying Kraven Rage is the world champion for over a year, and 14 years. It's like the boy who cried wolf. You know, it's the same. You know, I'm with you, Skullz. You know, I love you, Skullz. But there's people that feel that you could tell people I was on MySpace, but MySpace is dead. They don't believe. They're not going to believe you until you go out there July 8th. No one's going to believe you on Sportswire that have said what they've said until you go out there. People feel like that this is almost like, I don't know, almost like a fan wrestling. I don't know. This is just from what I've heard from other wrestlers. So this has got to fuel you. This has got to motivate you, no?
See, July 8th, I'm not just doing it to face Kraven. I'm doing this to test myself, to see if I still got what it takes to make it back to a ring. I'm not just challenging Kraven, I'm challenging myself to prove just if I still got it, what it takes. It may
Kraven,
be over 14 years since I've been in a ring with anybody.
Right, but 14 years is a long time to all of a sudden go from 14 years to the world title. This is not Creed 3, where, you know, Apollo gives his best friend a fight and he becomes a champion. You know, this is real life. This is not Creed 3. I mean, Kraven, do you feel that in a way? Skullz is, you know, he's called you out more than anybody else. Now you guys are here live. This is the first time you guys are here together after all this time. I mean, do you feel that he's basically making his comeback at your expense?
He's making his comeback and for my expense to be my next victim, because that's what he's gonna be. He's going to get victimized. He's going to get dominated. He will get conquered. And he will get buried. And he might go disappear for another 14 years. But coming back for 14 years to step up with one of the most dominant, decorated champions in history of WCE, that's your biggest mistake. You should have went after like Nicholas Crenson, hell, Tyler Ark, you know,
Adonis Felios.
Adonis Felios. But you made the biggest mistake trying to bring down my empire. So it's time, July 8th, Showdown in the Yard, when me and you come face to face. I'm going to show you what the nightmare is all about, because your dreams will be shattered.
Well, Kraven, is there a possible? You had James Taylor, right? You had Jason Storm, and there's a few more guests that are coming on here shortly, and they're also been champions, and they want to address you. They're going to come on here shortly, but is there a possibility that you overlook Skullz, the Soul Hunter, because that could maybe be Skullz' plan? I don't know. I'm just being devil's advocate, taking Skullz' side here for a second.
Well, like other people say, they don't underestimate me till they step in the ring with me. I don't underestimate nobody. Skulls probably haven't been there's nothing on Skulls. He can't be found.
I can't look up anything. People have asked me. I've had people tell me.
But you see, Skulls is a man of mystery, and a lot of people, he's gonna bring whatever he can to here, because I have been watching Skulls very, very closely. So I have seen what Skulls is capable of doing.
Let me ask you a question, Skullz. And Omen Black says this in a way, and I'm going to phrase it. You tell me what your thoughts are. That you get compared to a guy, C2K, that comes on here. And C2K is a guy that I'm training for my comeback. I love C2K. And it's not a knock on him. It's not a knock on his company, the RWA, and the owner of that company. They're best friends. And, he wants them to come on here and some of their talent, yada, yada, yada. But, I mean, what do you say to where you're different than a C2K? Skullz.
Let me point out something. It's like one of my favorite. Yeah. It's like one of my favorite movie quotes from Rob Schneider. You live for the biggest dog in the yard. Doesn't matter if it's a ring or a prison.
Okay.
Sooner or later, that
Well, I think we lost Skullz. I don't really know how much more tolerance I can have for some of this. I think he's got some technical difficulties. Do you want to say anything else, Kraven, about Skullz? Here's Skullz on, and I'm going to get to his... Skullz, we're having a hard time hearing you, so I'm going to, in the interest of where you are, because I could see it's raining where you are, this bad connection, give me your closing thoughts on what you want to say to everybody, and I'll try to bring you back on before July 8th if you're in a better connection, better signal. What do you want to say to Kraven and to the rest of the world here? Because I'm going to move on here in the interest of time, because I'm having a hard time hearing you right now.
Like I was saying before I was cut off, it's like one of my favorite movie quotes from Rob Schneider. You walk into the yard, you live for the biggest dog in the yard. And sooner or later, they will fall. It doesn't matter if it's a ring or even a prison yard.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what, Skullz?
That shows who the new dog in the yard is.
All right. Well, you know what? You definitely are obviously going to be one of our favorites here on Sportswire. Let's get you on back in a better connection. Where can we find you on social media? Let's plug you. Obviously, Skullz with the Z, Soul Hunter on Instagram. Also, we can catch you on Twitter. We can catch you on YouTube, Facebook, Skullz Talk.
You can find me on Skullz the Soul Hunter at YouTube.
Okay. All right.
You can follow me at Kevin Reed on Facebook, 88 Skullz on Instagram, and Skullz the Soul Hunter on YouTube and on Twitter.
Skullz, I would love to have you on longer, but I am having a hard time hearing you. And just for the interest of time, I have to get to a couple more people that want to speak. So let's definitely try to get you back on before July the 8th. And it is confirmed. Now, it is confirmed, right? Kraven Rage versus Skullz, showdown in the yard. Is that confirmed by management?
Well, they working on it.
Okay, so we'll have to see. So then maybe that'll be to be continued. Skullz versus Kraven Rage. So they're working on it. So we'll have to see.
So Skullz is in the lineup. He's in the title picture.
Okay, well, you know what, Skullz? We'll see if maybe you can continue the story like in Creed 3, where, listen, Apollo's, best friend grows up, goes to prison, and all of a sudden he's going out of the ring and he becomes the champion. So maybe that's going to be your story. I don't know, but I'll tell you what here, but we're going to move on here. So thank you, Skullz. We look forward to speaking with you soon. And we will be here on Sportswire Radio with him. And I have a few more comments. I'm getting ready here for this next guest here. And also here in the in the words of Jericho today from Soldier GP. I mean, that was kind of a funny one here. And does my ears deceive me? Does the terms breaking your legs come to mind for Kraven? What does that term mean to you real quick?
Nothing.
Okay. All right, fair enough here. Okay, so you know what then? We're going to figure this all out here. I have a couple more guests here I want to get to before we get out of time here and get to closing thoughts here. So I thank everybody. If you are out there on social media, please follow our friends over in Wrestling Championship Entertainment. Follow us here on YouTube at WC Heat. Also, we're on Facebook at IMF WC. Unfortunately, I'm getting 10 messages at once here. So if you are out there, please follow our friends at Wrestling Championship Entertainment. We have a brand new show coming up here July the 8th. It is called Showdown in the Yard. And I have no doubt that our current champion, the one and only Kraven Rage, the all-out champion, will be a huge part of things here. So make sure you follow our friends at WCE. My name is the Reverend Tom Brice. JR Wind here says, not to be mean, but Skullz is making me tired. And it may take another 14 years. You know, Kraven, I don't think Skullz proved anybody differently tonight. Is that a fair statement, you think?
Well, like I said, this is a land of opportunity. So people to come here, try to make a name off of me or try to make a name for themselves. So, but they try to make a name, period, here in WC. That's one thing that we do is we give the land of opportunities, and people can go.
Yeah, but that's almost like, I think what people are trying to say, that's like charity. I mean, Skullz, and I love Skullz. I wear his shirt. You know I love Skullz, but I don't know if he proved anybody tonight.
We just got to see what he can bring to the table.
All right. I mean, fair enough. I guess we'll have to find out. I mean, I guess we'll certainly have to find out. That's going to be a question, again, that a lot of people, they were not won over here tonight. I can tell you that much. There's no question that, listen, at the end of the day, Skullz is going to have to answer. And we're just 2 short weeks away from Showdown in the Yard. So you're going to have to find out. We'll have more WCE coverage, I'm sure, right before the show. Certainly figure the following week, not next week, but certainly as the week of, we will have more coverage from WCE and all the great talent, including Kraven Rage, Nicholas Crenson, Sean Joby, the resident rock star, and James Marshall. So stay tuned for all of that here as we wait for more guests to come on here. And, I mean, any other impressions, James Taylor and Jason Storm, while we wait for the next people to connect on here before we say goodbye tonight? Anything else you may want to say toward these other people here that have certainly come after you tonight, champ?
Oh, I'm looking for Jason Storm showing up and James Taylor too. I'm looking for it'll be an honor to face both of those. They're great competitors and look like they can bring a lot to the table because I'm running out of victims left and right. I'm stacking them, pinning them, throwing them on Mark Packer's desk so he can eat them like cheese curds.
All right, well, you know what here? You may do that, but let me get to my guest here because they're here, and I'm going to save a special guest for last because he's behind in time. And we are here now from the IMF. They are here with us. That is the Grand Slam winner himself. He is one half of the tag team champions, the DKW hardcore champion, and the former IMF champion of the world. Boy, this is going to be really interesting and really weird at the same time because if you saw the end of Rage in the Cage, you saw what happened to the former champion. But we are joined here by the IMF's 2 biggest stars, 2 of the biggest stars in backyard wrestling. That is Soldier 2 Belts and the leader of the House of Wolves. I would still say the most dangerous big man in this sport. One of the best all around. Omen Black. Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
I mean, I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, all right. Well, congratulations to one person.
Doing swell, I guess.
Well,
But this
all right.
guy,
Well, I mean, do you have anything to say to Kraven Ridge?
he said a lot that I disagree with, and maybe the fans disagree with Kraven. You see, you want to accept any challenge. You want to be a fighting champion. I've been calling you up for months, and yet I just see you running. But yet, Jason Storm walks in, James Taylor walks in, Skullz barely walks in or barely says anything English.
That was bad, by the way. I will say I love Skullz, but that was bad. That was really bad. That was like just not good.
I get a guy who can't say Facebook right, and yet you're fighting him. But yet I'm the guy who puts you down in your own interview, buries you. I get nothing.
Omen.
Omen. I get it. You're not on my level. Kraven, you're not on my level.
Omen. The reason why you say you buried me, you say I'm running from you, you say
I
I
did.
hide behind the
Proven. I
mask.
buried you.
You said all this, you talk all this talk. But the bottom line is the reason why I don't want to face you, I'm just better than you.
Wow, you didn't say I'm not on your level. Really?
I'm just better than
I'm
you.
really surprised you changed up your promo skills right there. Because you usually say, I'm going to destroy you. I'll decimate you. I'll smash you. You're not on my level.
Don't forget, victimize. He'll victimize you, Omen.
All right, Paul Heyman.
That's what he says. He said he
I'm
victimized.
I'm
agreeing with you.
So I got.
I'm just saying he tossed all that trash sitting in that ring. But like, what was that? Rocky 3, right? Rocky 3 is when Clubber Lang whooped Rocky's ass.
Rocky beat all those kind of like nobodies.
You're beating bums, Kraven.
Now,
either one of us show up to any one of us show up to that ring, I become Soldier 3 belts.
But I would dare say, listen, and that's the point. Say, listen, I know we obviously have some history with Mr. Taylor, but Storm and Taylor compared to Adonis, Felios, Prince Charles, and a Killer Rabbit, some may feel.
Taylor. It's farther to Wisconsin than it is to Iowa. So if Taylor's not coming to Iowa, he's not coming to Wisconsin.
Right, but I get all that, but the point is that and you guys you guys hear the chatters. You guys are in different locker rooms. I speak to different people in different companies. We have them on all the time. Is that there are people out there that feel like that Kraven faces opponents that really, and I think that's kind of the core of tonight. Skullz didn't do any favors to himself. I'm going to be objective. He did no favors to himself. Now, I'm going to give him benefit of doubt. He was in a bad setting, bad signal, needed to be outside in a better spot. But Storm is a champion. Storm is a world champion. He's in your guys' league. I'll leave the other individual out. But the point is, he's worthy, though. He's a worthy veteran. But these guys that Kraven has beat, a lot of people feel that they're like, how can I put this in what people are saying? Not my opinion, but what people feel like that these guys are being put up almost like, you guys remember the Harlem Globetrotters and the Washington Generals? That Adonis Felios, Prince Charles, James Marshall, and Killer Rabbits, and all these people are like the Washington Generals.
We're know still talking about Killer Rabbits.
But that's the point, though. But the point is that what people feel in the locker room is that, and different companies, is that Kraven's beating guys that he's.
If we're talking about rabbits, then Elmer Fudd here is about as crazy and as stupid as the cartoon is.
Listen, Kraven, your winning streak is like Goldberg's winning streak. You're fighting jobbers, man. You're fighting jobbers.
And I said
the only one person that gives you any that I consider that's not a jobber that you fought was Marshall.
No, and he's fought Jovi last year. I mean, Jovi and Marshall, I would say, were very, and Jovi's the last one to beat Kraven Rage. I mean, leave those guys aside. You know, you look at the people that he's been in the ring with. That's what people feel. Now, again, you can't deny it. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. I respect everybody that goes out there, and I have a guy coming on here shortly. That's a big surprise. Who's actually a pro wrestler, and he's got something to say to Kraven Rage. So this is just going to really.
I want to say this.
Go ahead, jump in.
Earlier when James Taylor was on, in his defense,
and by the way, he says hello. By the way,
he was absolutely right. It's called a promo. This guy will not cut a promo to save his goddamn life.
Oh man, you went on a Tyler Ark show. Come on now, what the hell was that?
On his own show.
You went on a Tyler Ark show. The man got up and took a piss on you.
Listen here, Kraven. I'm not the one wrestling Tyler Ark, though.
Oh, sorry, Tom. Sorry, Tom. Man, every time Kraven opens his mouth, it just makes me yawn.
Can I ask a side point?
By the way, Kraven Rage, I'm not the one running away from a fight.
Can I ask a side point here?
I'm not running.
Can I ask a side point? Has anybody actually listened to the Tyler Rock show, and what would that be like? I almost am afraid to.
You want to ask me since I was on it?
Yeah. Actually,
I had the dishonor to be on with Tyler Ark, Skullz, and Adonis Filios. I was easily the smartest guy in the room, which I am. All right.
That was like watching Tom and Jerry's show when you was on there.
What's that?
It's
that was like watching the Tom and Jerry show when you was on there, Omen.
Hey, you know what? When you get the balls to face me, then talk to me.
Omen, I'm right here in the WCE ring. When are y'all coming? What, September?
Then how about this, Kraven? Right here on Sportswire, I'll issue a challenge to you next year in Rage in the Cage. The fans want to see it. Trust me, Tom wants to see it. Everyone in the back there wants to see it. They want to see me put you down.
I'll sell.
Omen Black versus Kraven Rage at Rage in the Cage.
I'll sell.
You accept? Really?
Until he gets off the phone. Until we get off this, then it won't be an exception.
Management will be like, oh, we can't do that.
Well, I mean, I will say that DKW, IMF, Rage in the Cage, which you can go to the Dark Cryptic Wrestling page on YouTube and check out the show itself. And we're going to talk. I think we might be seeing you guys Thursday night with the DKW boys, Darkron, Combat Joe, and Matthew Forsaken.
Oh, yeah, that's right before I go to Ohio and whoop Darkron's ass again.
We're having wall-to-wall coverage. I'm sure we're going to be seeing you guys right before you get on the.
And I believe Soldier can do something that Omen.
Let me say one thing. You shut your mouth while I'm talking. Now, I don't even want your belt because I'm already going to have it when Remington beats you. I'm going to throw it in the trash.
Remington who?
The guy you want to face. That guy.
Oh, Mr. Half Percent? That's funny.
You gave him more credit from last time. You said 49%.
50 is more than 49. I mean, I would say that's a fair point.
Hey, Kraven, you know how worried Remington Striker is about you? Do you want to know how worried he is? Do you want to know how worried Remington Striker is about you, Kraven Rage? He's so worried that he didn't show up.
Of course.
That's how worried he is about you.
You know, can I do something here? Can I do something here for you guys? This is going to be really a shoot, and I have a real shoot for the three of you. And I know there's people here watching this, and I see Mr. Taylor's rejoined us, but there's a guy that he was a pro wrestler, wrestled a long time down in the Mid-Atlantic area in Maryland. He actually shares the same name as Kraven. If I were to say I could bring this guy on possibly and say something to Kraven Rage, would you want to hear from this pro wrestler? You want to hear? You really want to hear it? So you actually want to hear it? It's a shoot. This is a total shoot.
I got my
Kraven Rage, do you want to hear what this person has to say? Pro wrestler, he's been a champion. He's wrestled with guys who in WWE, and all of a sudden he heard the show.
Yeah.
And, all right, I'm going to bring him on here.
Hey,
so
Kraven, I'll give you this from Remington. This bud's for you.
Well, we might need a bud or two because, ladies and gentlemen, I've actually got a pro wrestler who's wrestled in the business a long time, another veteran, shares the same last name as Kraven Rage. He's heard a lot about Kraven Rage. He's been messaging me back and forth the last couple of weeks. We have him coming on live in a standalone segment. He's here himself, and his name is Mr. Kris Kraven, well-respected veteran in the Maryland area. And Kris, I mean, you want to introduce yourself, say something to Kraven Rage, and this is a real shoot. So, I mean,
Rage can wait a minute. Mr. Black, Mr. Soldier, good evening to the both of you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Kudos and props to all the accomplishments you guys have done.
Thank you.
Now to the trash.
oh,
So I claim identity theft, to be honest with you. Like, you can say 27 years old. Wrestling yourself with your hand on your dinky doesn't count. So 27 years, I call bullshit. I've been around 27 years. From backyard to indie to underground to barn feds, you name it, I've been there. I've been retired since 2018, but I got no problem coming back out. You sit there with a belt that looks like you made it in Home Goods. Is that bedazzled? Like, really, is it bedazzled around the edge with a mask on? It looks like you rubbed your mask on some woman's menstrual cycle pad. Like, what the hell? And you can't do a promo to save your life. You literally can't. Wilbur, stop stuttering, stop delaying. The promo is delivery. It's not something to put you to sleep. I could go over and take a nap watching your shit. Really? Like, if you're gonna come up here and you're even gonna use my name, at least fucking have the balls to deliver. Have the talent and the capabilities to sit there and actually do it. Like, you're sitting in a tent right now with some ring ropes behind you, probably on some stool with your Home Goods belt that looks like a fucking orange. What are you? I heard one of you guys said something about Goldberg's streak. You want to know anything about Goldberg's streak? You fucking Mark, the one who you sat there and you got everybody's catchphrase memorized. You sat there and mentioned Goldberg's streak. You know what happened to Goldberg's streak? Goldberg's streak ended. And after it ended, his career was never the same.
it's a good point. It's a good point.
It was embarrassment after embarrassment after embarrassment.
The Thunder injury on Thunder, the start and restart.
Personally, he's a good guy. I know a couple guys in the business. Hell, James Ellsworth lives 30 minutes from me. Okay? I don't even know what you are. You're a circus clown.
He lives next to
robbery match going.
Wow. I mean, this is really interesting theater tonight. I mean, Mr. Kraven, I mean, we speak, but I didn't realize you felt this much way. I mean, what else would you like to say about Mr. Kraven Ridge? Anything else? I mean, it's on your mind. I mean, get it off your chest. We're live.
I don't want to put anybody to sleep, but
no. Floor is yours.
No, it would be interesting to hear if the young buck or the amateur has a retort and can keep up. Don't stall. Don't stutter.
You know, Mr.
Mr.
Kraven over there, you know, like I said, I've been doing this shit for 27 years. I was trained by Hornswoggle. I was trained by Jet Jolion. I was trained by Nick Gallucci. I have been in this business and met Kevin Nash. I have met everybody. Bret the Hitman Hart. I have done this all.
That just means you're a guy that shows up at the Comic Cons or the special events with a pencil or a pen to get your shit.
You know what I'm saying? I have been in the ring with these guys. So you sitting there talking about who the fuck I am, who the hell I am, who the hell are you? You know what I'm saying? That is. That's the question. Who the fuck are you?
Me?
Yeah, never heard of you. I never heard you at all.
I'm responsible for just about every organization in Maryland. I'm responsible for it. Not only recruitment and the organization of it, but putting it together and keeping it together. Along with recruiting other people to start other feds, just for the fuck of it, to have proper competition. So you guys do state to state, we did county to county. And I got a lot of good people that are on the indie scene right now that I've worked with personally. Y'all know Joe Mercury? I worked with MCW with him. Y'all know Christian York from MCW?
Absolutely. I remember Christian York very well. Sure, absolutely.
That's another guy that I
He was
ran
in
the ring.
TNA, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And you also got other minor league guys that have stayed indie. People like Derek Gatton, Crazy Shay, if you know that name, Christopher Slade, Roland Havoc. These are people that have gone all up and down the East Coast making a name for themselves.
ISPW, I think. But yeah, sure. I know him very well. Yep.
Who the fuck am I? Boy, I've had more titles in my career than you've played with your fucking self to your fucking Backstreet Boy poster. You understand me?
Like I said, I never heard of you, never seen you.
Oh, and that makes it relevant? Really? Oh, you've never heard of me. You've never seen me.
But the problem is, you know what? It doesn't matter about a title. What I do, I fight.
Get an open perspective out there in bumfuck farmland, dickhead.
Like I said, I'll fight.
Let me bring it back a second here, Mr. Kris Kraven. If I can address you as Mr. Kris Kraven here, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong here. Let's get a couple things here for those that are listening and watching here for the first time, because obviously we're getting a chance to know you. We're feeling the attention here. Let me try to be the neutral observer. Let me try to bring it back and try to get a little bit of information from people here and from people here out here. So last time you were in the ring was 2018. Was that correct? Is that a fair statement?
True.
Okay, so I'm going to bring it back to my days back in law class. I was good at law and evidence, so I kind of have an idea to be a good speaker here and kind of bring it back down here. So 2018's last time you were in the ring. Are you looking, let's say, to kind of maybe step back foot in the ring maybe? And do you see yourself maybe wanting a return, lace up the boots again? Do you have boots even still out there? Do you have a place maybe you could, run the ropes a little bit in? You seem like you got some friends who are well known in some high places. Would you like a possibility to return? There's one company here, the IMF from Iowa. I'm not good at many things, but maybe Iowa and Maryland, there's a little bit of a way to get there. You got Wisconsin, this guy Kraven Rage, Kraven versus Kraven. Maybe that'll sell some tickets. Maybe that'll do some, social media engagements increase for both sides. But I mean, are you looking possibly maybe for a return to the ring of any sort? So what do you want to say to that?
I've never said, let's put it this way. I've never said never.
Mm-hmm.
I got out of the ring for family reasons,
Understood. Totally understand.
Shit happens, Sure. I got out of the ring because I chose to, not because I had to. So the possibility is always there. The possibility of returning at any given moment is there. And yes, I still have a pair of boots.
And have you ever wrestled somebody named Kraven before?
No. It's kind of the whole reason I came on here, just to poke fun and shoot on this amateur.
I actually have somebody else that actually is calling you out, by the way, Mr. Kraven. Could I bring them up for you?
Sure.
Well, it's for maybe both Kravens even. Who knows? But CJ Black, now, I don't know the difference between Maryland and Michigan is, but he calls himself a good guy. Now, I'm going to find out next Sunday if he's a good guy or not. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I still like the guy and his abilities in the ring. And he says, old guy, don't waste your time on these fools. If you want a match, look no further. What do you say to somebody like this now?
Which old guy is he talking about?
You.
Me? Okay. Like I said, getting back in the ring is always an option. But I will tell you this: if I do it, it's going to be for the right reasons. It's not going to be for some drama shoot thing. I mean, this guy's over here in his little orange T-shirt. He can't even respond to me properly. Like, and, Wisconsin's 13 and a half hours away from me. That's how far. Now, it's kind of funny because I'll be in Colorado in about 5 days, and that's closer. So, and he's still probably either won't have a show or there'll be an excuse. He had to go to Walmart to get his tampon, something. Point is, getting back in the ring is, like I said, is an option. But
these doors is always open.
I'll pick the opponent and I'll pick the company. And if it takes me elsewhere to state to state, it may take me to Mr. Black. It may take me to Mr. Soldier. It may take me.
Well, I got another guy here. This guy, James Taylor. He's also a veteran. Some may say, depending on the years, he's in Tennessee.
I actually may be moving to Tennessee in the next year, so maybe that could be something in the future.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, I hear that the scene down in Tennessee is actually pretty good.
It's
From
good
what I
in
hear.
Iowa also, by the way. What about the guys in Iowa here too?
It's
IMF.
obviously not good in Wisconsin.
Ooh, that's not good. They're Kraven Rage. I mean, what do you say to all this? You know, you have somebody on here
Well,
with a
like I
different
said,
name.
my actions speak louder than my words. So I'm looking for a good fight. And with all due respect, IMF, y'all are very talented. I respect Soldier. I respect Omen, even though I don't like the guy.
You
But I
fear me.
still,
That's not you.
I don't
That's
fear
not
no
you
man.
not liking me. You fear me.
I don't fear no man. That's the problem. That's what you
The
think.
problem,
I
the
fear.
problem is you
I don't
think
fear
I've
no
called you
man.
out months.
You know, I
you
don't
think
fear no
the
man.
problem is you think people
But
think
you,
you're
Omen,
afraid.
is afraid
They're
to
not
lose.
worried about whether you're afraid or not. They're worried.
I'm afraid to lose.
Their
I
main
don't
concern
lose.
is to putting you down.
Oh, you
It's nothing
don't
to do about
lose.
fear.
What happened to your championship?
My brother. Keep
What
my
happened to
family.
your championship, Omen?
Get them black. Get them black.
Listen here. My brother turned on me, which is fine. I'll take care of that.
All right, Taylor.
My
Yes.
brother means more than anything than that title.
Hopefully one day.
But Kraven.
Which
The
one?
Rock-
Which one? Which?
Oh, not the good one. Not the good one. The one just like an idiot.
Hey, if we refer to the pro wrestler Craven, we'll say Mr. Craven. Mr. Craven, you got that respect.
I was never
You
a
got that
pro.
respect.
I never ran on WWE's program. I did tryouts, but I did indie. I was never pro.
You're far
As I was
more
saying,
of a better wrestler
Kraven,
than the other
I've
Craven.
called you out, and now
Appreciate
again
that, brother.
you've taken my bait at Rage in the Cage next year. Like I've always said to you, Kraven, I'm always 2 steps ahead of you. Now, I expect a message from management saying this match can't happen for next year. I expect that. I'll be more surprised if I don't get that message.
You want to
No,
respond,
we get
Kraven
it.
Rage? You want to respond to that Kraven
It's
Rage
up,
before Chris Raven takes his jacket off? You want to respond, Kraven Rage, to that?
it's up to management, but I don't care. I will definitely accept your challenge, Omen. And if management approved it, I will accept this one.
Just know, Kraven, I'm going to quote Rorschach again.
Oh my lord!
You won't be there locked in there with anyone. I'm not going to be locked in there with you. You're going to be locked in there with Omen Black, the guy you fear, the guy who put down James Marshall with ease.
So, Mr. Chris Craven, this doesn't impress you much tonight. So, Craven Rage, has he met your expectations? Less than your expectations? I mean, you guys are both Cravens. So, I mean, so what's your overall feelings and anything else you might want to say?
I think he needs. I think he needs to go get a clue. I think he needs to go back to some sort of wrestling program and actually learn how to do the craft.
Oh,
Not
come
only
on,
the wrestling
Chris.
part.
Come
I'll
on.
Not only
go to the
You
training.
weren't trained by Hornswoggle.
Full trained wrestler.
he was trained by a 3-foot man. Wow. I'm sure you got a lot of moves in there. Let me say something. Did he let you body slam him? Was it cute? Was it adorable? Did you cuddle him like a teddy bear?
Did you hear a
Look,
squeaker?
you can't even do a promo. You're sitting there laughing at the shit I'm saying against you. Behind that little fucking rubber mask.
I have one question.
Because
When you
you're a
body slammed
joke.
him, did you hear a squeaker go off?
You are a joke. That's what you is. You haven't been in the ring for 18 years, whatever the case may be. You've been around. You've been in the business. What to do? But who
You know
cares?
what's interesting about this
The
whole
only
thing?
thing that matters right now, where the fuck are you at now in your life?
I'm in Baltimore.
Whoa,
Come
Kraven's
on.
dust. God damn.
Oh my God. I must be getting under that mask of his. Like,
Hey, that's his response to everybody tonight. That's his response to everybody tonight.
Where the
Where the
fuck are
fuck
you
are
at
you?
now? I'm
The
right
interesting
here.
thing is, gentlemen, if I can, real quick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Please. The thing is this. I have just now shooted on you with the same kind of, I'm the greatest, I can do this, I've got accolades, I got championships. I've done the same thing that you do to everybody else. And once again, you're still stuck. the best comeback you got to anybody is, I'm the best there ever is, or I'm that damn good, or you're a joke, or you want to catch some. You said Kevin Nash earlier. You want to say it's too sweet. You need another catchphrase. I can write
Wolf
30
back
of
in
them
the
down.
house. Wolf back in the house.
You know,
Like,
I don't need
dude,
catchphrases. Like I said, my actions
You
in
never
this
really
ring
catch
speak
everyone.
louder
No,
than anything.
real
So
life
where
lesson.
are you?
You want to be a wrestler? You want to be in this business? Stop being a fucking mark.
Stop being
Stop
one.
being a mark.
You don't even understand.
Just stop. You can go get your autograph signings in your spare time at your little venues or your little indie shows. Mick Foley shows up, you can get his signature for the 30th time because he does that. You want to do shit like that, you go for it. But you want to be in this business, you want to learn this trade, this craft, then do it and do it right. And stop disgracing the rest of us that actually go through those rows and bust our ass. And don't
I
tell me
bust
you
my
know
ass in this ring. That's the thing. I bust my ass in this business.
It's half the game, boy. It's half the game.
Come on, man. I'm a grown ass man. Get your shit together. Get your shit together.
My shit's together.
My shit's together too.
Once again,
I started this company to make people relevant.
You know what? Thank you for saying that. No, gentlemen, hold on. Thank you for saying that. It takes a real good man to start a company and make himself the champion. It's a real good thing to when you're booking to be undefeated.
No, it's not that at all.
You know what you just did? You just ruined your entire wannabe legacy.
It's not that at all. I built this shit because I wanted to be relevant. Because people like you always want to sit down on people like us.
What?
People like you want to fucking shit on people like us. Because you might be this big time pro wrestler. But you know what? I don't give a damn about you.
No, people like who?
You.
People like him. Because what? Because I worked indies?
Yeah.
I was a backyard wrestler for a long time, an underground wrestler in underground organizations and barn fest before I even climbed into an indie ring. And I can tell you right now, my heart will always be in the backyard. Always.
That's what my heart is.
Talk about my credibility.
This is what it's about.
On the indies.
Was his up, Norman? You want to jump in respectfully, Mr. Kraven?
I just want to say, hey, me and Soldier been on the indie scene, well, indie promotion, I should say.
Yes, with Mr. Levi McDaniel. By the way, cheap plug. If you're out there, please follow the IMF Wrestling 666 on YouTube, IMF_wrestling on Instagram. Also, please follow Wrestling Championship Entertainment, WC Heat on Facebook, on YouTube, WCHeat.com. Let me get to some comments here because people are tuned in. Let's try to end on a positive note here with everybody because I never want everybody to go on a negative here. Sad but true, I'm self-taught and I'm still learning. I'm a student of the game and have been for years. CJ Black, I don't even smoke when I'm about to light one up. Mr. Trick or Treat up there is the shits. I better not hear him say he's a good guy. Thank you. Booking yourself to win is always a bad thing. I hate when peeps do that, but it's a part of wrestling. Yeah, listen, I have a lot of talk with the British guys, and it's part of life. I don't think that's the case here in WC. I do think that we have a company with a lot of talent, a lot of guys that are putting their heart and their soul in the ring, and I want everybody to follow Wrestling Championship Entertainment. Also, follow Mr. Kris Kraven. Give him a friend request on Facebook, Chris Warburton. Give him a friend request right now. If you're out there, you're watching this, go give him a friend request because this guy, he's still a good man. He's a good man. Maybe not a good guy like a CJ Black, but he's certainly, we like having him on.
I was just about to say, don't call him a good guy.
I call him a good man. There's a difference between man and a guy. So you have to say that I
ain't a good guy. I got
no
problem.
My good friend CJ Black is not going to like that.
No, I'm trying to be objective with CJ Black. I think I'm trying to go down the line here. We try to be down the middle on sports, but I want to give everybody a shot here. James Taylor says I would probably show up to Iowa before I would Wisconsin. LOL. Can we move on from that comment? Yes, we will. I've seen the conclusion of Rage in the Cage, and he says I've seen it twice. Thank you for letting us know, Adonis Felios.
Adonis, you call yourself the Drip King. We don't want to hear about your STDs. Move past it.
Well, let's certainly move away from that. Evening. He also does say evening and salutations, Mr. Kris Kraven. Unload. Let's move away from that comment. Also, Mr. Kris Kraven, are you on Instagram?
No, I'm not. I am on Facebook. You can find me. My name is Christopher Warburton. On Facebook or Chris Warburton. You can find me that way.
Okay, so
Instagram.
we want everybody to do that. So you know what? I kind of get the sense of where we are tonight. So I want to give everybody an opportunity for closing thoughts because I see here that this is going to go. And Skullz wants to say thanks for having me on. Yeah, I'll bring you on when you have better connection. Just be at a better location before July 8th.
And
we'll
have
bring you
something
back
to
on.
talk about.
Well, that works too, but let's try to be nice to people. So
Sorry, this ain't my show. Well,
I just want to be nice to everybody tonight because I realize that like this tonight, and I'm sure the next few, because listen, you guys are going to be on with the DKW guys Thursday. I've got Jason Storm and CJ Black next Sunday. I've got my British wrestlers coming on Monday, the Juggernaut John Allens, who is the NBPW King of Old School champion. He's going to be here Monday. I've got what's his face on third. I got Thursday. I've got Danny Los. I've got him on. I've got Young Horace Thursday night. So I've got a lot of people on here. They're going to have a lot of egos. So let's say here. He also says, Adonis says here, sorry, Omen, I'm anti-ego vaccinated.
that has nothing to do with what I said. But
I was going to say, by the way, speaking of other wrestlers that are tuning in here, I also, can I say somebody I might be saying hello to in the future? The Anarchist Gunshot. I know who this person is. I'm sure some people out there know him. cough, James Taylor. Yeah, but let's move on. You know what? Let's give everybody a chance to say something to the world tonight. So let me go with the IMF guys first. Then I'll go with the Cravens, and I'll kind of flip a coin on which Craven will go first. So, Soldier, anything you want to say? First of all, congratulations again on being the first ever IMF Grand Slam winner. You certainly are the popular heel monster. I have no doubt we'll be seeing you Thursday with those boys in Ohio. I am sure you'll be stopping by. So congratulations on that. You certainly have continued to hold those championship belts proudly. You and Dirty Donnie as well had the pleasure to have you guys on last Friday in this chair. So I want to give you the opportunity for some closing thoughts. Anything else you might want to say before we eventually see you on Thursday? And the floor is yours.
I'm just, I don't know. Hearing Craven talk makes me fall asleep. So I'm kind of tired. But tune in for Thursday. DKW guys. I'm next weekend. I go there and I get to beat up on Darkron again. I have a history of doing that, I guess. But Craven Rage, your WCE title. I do have like I said in the comments, man, I do have a thing of going to companies and taking belts. And if I ever show up to WCE, which we will, and I go one-on-one with you, I'll take that belt really quickly, just like I did with Darkron's hardcore title. Plain and simple.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to see. I'll certainly let Mr. Rage respond to that. Before I get to Omen Black, I do have a couple of comments here. One specifically toward you, Mr. Omen Black, that is from the Anarchist Gunshot, who says, I would love to have a match against Omen Black. Now, do you know who this individual is? I know who he is. Do you know him? I'm sure you know him, right? You don't? Okay, well, he is certainly...
Wait, hold on. Is that the guy that Anthony Steele used to dog walk?
Yeah, that's him. That'll be him.
All right, kid. I already beat Anthony Steele, but sure. I accept. Let me know when.
So you're not too worried about that one then?
No, I'm not.
Okay. All right.
Like, I'm not worried about the little goofball in the ring.
Well, I want to give you the opportunity, Omen, to say some things, some closing thoughts, whether it's toward anybody here, whether it's anybody out there in the IMF world or DKW or WCE or Kris Kraven or who knows what else is on your mind. I give you the floor now.
Kris Kraven, it was an honor to meet you. Unfortunately, I've never heard of your work, but I imagine I'll be watching it very soon after this. Now, to you, Craven Rage, I've told you this many of times. I'm always 2 steps ahead of you, and yet you've fallen in every trap I lay. Even on your own podcast show, I buried you. Surprisingly enough, you know how to work a shovel and get yourself out of it, of the hole I buried you in. That's fine. Now, Craven, you accepted a match that I'm going to truly torture you in. You're going to be in a steel cage with Omen Black. Now, no WC management's going to save you. No Sean Jovi's going to save you. Not James Marshall. Hell, maybe Tyler Art can save you. Maybe.
Maybe his own booking.
Now, Kraven, next year, at Rage in the Cage, I expect to see you there. Now, I don't want to hear that you had a flat tire or, oh, I lost my belt. Some guy's returning here soon. Or I retired simply because after tonight's podcast, I would retire too if I had my asshole resized 3 inches. Now, Tom, I'm going to be going to Ohio with IMF to become DKW World Champion. I'm going to beat Matthew Forsaken again. But he wants to make it a all-out hell match, whatever that means. But that's exactly what's going to be all-out hell. Now, I want to say this, I might have a couple of surprises up my sleeve, or maybe some tricks. But you'll have to fill in at DKW versus IMF 2 to find out.
And you can also go to Dark Chronic Wrestling as well, Dark Cryptic Wrestling. Dark Chron also runs the YouTube page there, so you'll be able to check all that stuff out there. And please follow them because I'm sure they'll post all this stuff. And also IMF Wrestling 666 on YouTube, IMF_wrestling on Instagram. And again, Dark Cryptic Wrestling. Please follow all the great things that the boys in DKW do, especially Combat Joe. We're going to have on here Matthew Forsaken, the champion.
Joe Schmo and Matthew Forsaken, they're on my level.
Well, we're going to find out. I'll tell you that much. We'll find out once again.
Dark wasn't on my level. The only people I'm missing is Combat Joe, Phantom, Jester, whatever you want to call him, and Josh.
I actually, before I flip a coin on which Kraven I'm going to go next with closing thoughts, I have a couple of comments here, which are some interesting ones. Jason Storm said, how is this guy still on after getting verbally harassed by myself? CJ Black kind of disputes that. But I have a good one here, actually, from the Anarchist Gunshot for all of you guys here. Actually, is a good one here. Let me actually get a good question. Gives everybody something nice to say. Is there a dream match anybody of you guys have? Is there a wrestler on the bucket list or a type of match? Is there a dream match?
I have a joke. I'm going to break character.
Okay, sure.
There's a joke between me and Soulja that our dream matches is his dream match is with Grado.
It's Grado. Grado. I want to wrestle Grado.
And my dream match is one Jimmy Wang Yang.
That's an interesting one. You know, that's an interesting one.
It's an ongoing joke we have, and, you know, it's funny. It's still funny to us.
That's an interesting one. You know, he had a really underrated career if you think about what he did in WCW and the WW. That's actually an interesting one here. You know, for both Kraven, is there a dream match for both you guys? Is there a dream match?
Kurt Angle.
That's a good one. I heard Kurt Angle.
I was a high school wrestler myself, and it's hands down Angle.
Actually, my dream match, my actual dream match, my daughter really likes this guy named JT Energy who wrestles for Central Empire Wrestling. And my dream match is to one day go one-on-one with this JT Energy so I can see who my daughter is going to cheer for. Is she going to cheer for her dad or is she going to cheer for her favorite wrestler? So my dream match is JT Energy from Central Empire Wrestling.
Mine is a guy here around the Midwest, Damian Saint.
Okay, that's a cool one. For you, Kraven Rage, is there a dream match for you out there that you would like to wrestle somebody and anybody that you like?
Honestly, my dream match would have been against people like Bret the Hitman Hart.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I hear a lot of the British wrestlers I have on, and they're big Bret Hart fans because the British style of wrestling is kind of very similar to a Bret Hart old Stampede style. I hear that a lot from the British wrestlers. Bret worked a certain style, and it's very big up there. Rey Mysterio is another guy I hear a lot about from the English guys. They're big because they're not as big as we are here in America. So a lot of those wrestlers are big on Rey Mysterio here. And CJ Black, basically, I think he's basically saying he'd work alone. So CJ Black for CJ Black as the referee. I appreciate the honesty there. And James Taylor wants to be the special enforcer.
That's such a good guy.
Yeah. All right, so you know what? I'm gonna let Kris Kraven go next for closing thoughts here. So, Kris, I'm gonna give you the opportunity. I'm gonna have you back here very soon, and I think I want to have you more often because you seem like you got some fire. You got some pizzazz towards you. I liked you when we were speaking on Facebook with each other, but now I got to see you on a camera, and I definitely like you already. You definitely seem like a guy I want to watch some more stuff with and talk with more on Sportswire. And looking forward to having you more often. And want to give you the floor. Anything else you want to share, say whatever is on your mind, and the floor is yours, my dear friend.
No, most definitely, Mr. Brice. I look forward to it. Absolutely.
Amen to that.
Like I said, it's been a while, but you know, kind of like riding a bike. Once you do it, you don't forget.
Hey, listen, that was always what my dad said. Was just everything is like when you start over. It's like riding a bike.
I would say to Mr. Soldier and Omen first, and any other guy that's been commenting, like any of the material that you guys have, like if you put this stuff on YouTube or any other kind of server, like send a link. I'd be very interested to watch it, especially this match with this Rage in the Cage or whatever this.
You gotta see. I gotta be honest. If I could break the character a little bit, I gotta say, and I obviously WC also. Please watch them Ring of Destruction too. But Rage in the Cage, I saw the DKW hardcore title match and the DKW world the IMF world title match and the DKW world title match. I mean, just what these guys did in the ring. It reminded me of very old school 1999, 2000 ECW. Reminded me of the old NWA Wild Side, like 2000, 2001, and early Ring of Honor. These guys, and they also did the show in the rain. It reminded me of like going to a rock concert of like 150 people, underground, just raw, gritty, and you loved every second of it. So please go to the Dark Cryptic Wrestling YouTube page. And these guys, I'm sure, will DM you. Chris Warburton's Facebook page. Give this man the show. These guys put on a hell of a show.
And I definitely want to see. Black. I want to definitely see your match with Rage. I got to see that. I'm gonna get a bag of popcorn. I'm gonna sit back. I got to check this shit out.
I don't want to toot our own horn and break kayfabe here, but you also got to check out the IMF tag title match.
That's on the bucket list.
Like I said, as many links as that are sent to me, I don't dispute or discriminate. I'll watch any wrestling material to see what's there because you never know when you'll see potential or whatever. But as far as final thoughts go, just to say something to anybody that's watching, Mr. Brice, to anybody that's on here, people that have been.
And I have guys DMing me right now about you. I actually have 2 wrestlers that just DM'd me on Instagram, and they want to know more about you. They're really impressed by it. I just want to say.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I guess the final thought to anybody watching, anybody that's involved with wrestling, I say this. It's the best advice I could ever give to any wrestler. Don't just take, but give. Because when you're in the business, whether you're backyard or you're up at the top, the more give and take you have, the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. The more you push somebody and give them the opportunity, the more they're going to do it back. It's the respect in any locker room, any real locker room. So whatever you put into the business, make sure you also are willing to, take a few hits, get knocked down, give somebody else the spot too, because you never know. That person may do it for you one day. Keep that respect open. It's give and take, not only with the locker room members, but with the company that you're a part of. It will build not only you, but your organization. That's the best advice I'd give anybody in any locker room. Give and take.
Well, I'm going to take your advice because you've been in some locker rooms and you know some people. So I always say I'm going to defer to you on that one. So I'm going to definitely take your brain and try to absorb all the information that you know. And I want everybody, if you're out there, I've been actually DMing people your Facebook name. So I hope if you're out there, some of the people that just DM me, I
will say that.
I'll
say this. Anytime I've been in a locker room and I see people going into business for themselves, it never pans out. Like and I'm going to break character here. Be your character. Be your gimmick. Do your work. Do your craft. But scratch each other's backs. Don't be a rogue in the locker room. It will never benefit
and listen,
you.
it takes two to tango, right? I mean, you got to listen to give and take,
Dance.
like you said. You got to work with people. Anything you do in life, right? It's always about how you treat the other person, right? Because what comes up must come down. So anything in life, I always give advice to people. That is the excellent advice. And I want everybody to give you a friend request on Facebook. I will send your profile out there to people if they're messaging me now and I
To
can't
both
do
me
it.
and Soldier.
Okay, I will. I will do that when we're off the air for sure.
As far as the rest of the guys on this thing, if I could, I'll just finish up real quick. The rest of the guys, Mr. Black, Mr. Soldier, I would be interested to see some of your work. Rage, yeah, I'll check out some of your matches if links come my way.
He was better.
I will say this:
he had a good match.
I will say this, just for shits and giggles. If I ever find myself in Wisconsin, you better rest assured I'm the only Kraven that's going to leave the state. That's going to be known in the state. Just keep that in mind.
Ooh.
I'll be looking forward to it.
Okay, well, I got one last piece of advice for Mr. Rage, and then I will shut up for the rest of the show unless you ask the question. Dude, you got to wash that mask. I swear to God, it looks like you rubbed it on some woman's menstrual cycle. It probably smells like a vinegar, dude. You need to clean it. I'm sorry. I'll shut up now.
This is who I am.
I have to say, I will actually not spend time on this, but I don't know if anybody watches the Click This podcast with Kevin Nash and Sean Oliver. This is actually not. I'm not going to put Kraven in this discussion, but they actually talked about ring gear and washing out the ring gear, and I listened to Kevin Nash talk about that, and it was like I didn't realize that was like how important that was, and certain guys didn't do that. And the most famous one was Vader. Vader apparently was like the guy that never washed his ring gear out. And that's why guys hated working with him because, he would never wash his ring gear. And I would have thought, wow, well, that's actually.
And the mask was that same leather they make a fucking ball glove out of.
Yeah.
So imagine how sweaty and stanky that was.
Yeah, I would imagine. I'm surprised nobody got like,
there's stories of Rikishi being the same way. Sometimes.
Of who?
Rikishi.
Yeah, I think I did hear that somewhere. I mean, that's but that's why it's here nor there. But let me get let's move on here on a positive note here before I get to Kraven Rage. Backyard wrestling is awesome for real, and it keeps getting better and better. And I could not agree more.
It's up and coming. It's coming up,
dude. I always listen. Can I just one more thing before I get to Kraven Rage? I want to break kayfabe, break character a little bit. I always loved backyard wrestling because I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and I always thought backyard wrestling was the greatest thing when we were growing up. And I didn't really have a backyard, but if we could find like a pavement, a sidewalk, a driveway, we could just do something for a half an hour, an hour. I loved it. I mean, I thought it was just the greatest thing. I never thought it was a big deal. I thought it was great stuff. And, I love it. And I thank everybody for going out there and putting us in the entertainment world for what they do for us. But Kraven Rage, I want to give you the floor because I don't have much of a voice left. And I want to give you the opportunity to address the world out there, WCE, your people on the stream with us, people that were on there, your future opponents, who knows what else. I give you the floor. Anything else you want to plug, share, say, and the floor is yours.
First time, thank you for bringing everybody on. It's been an honor. IMF, I respect y'all from the heart. I'm definitely looking forward to working with y'all. WC is definitely looking forward to working with y'all. Hope we can work with y'all sooner than September. But if not, I'll see y'all boys in September. And you, Mr. Kraven, we here at WC, we started this backyard company for one reason, to really establish backyard here in Wisconsin. It's been dead for many years. I love the backyard. I give you props of what you have done, what you have accomplished in your life. But what I have accomplished in a lot of things in my life. I have met a lot of people, a lot of names, and I have faced a lot of people. I've been doing this for a long time, and I love doing this. And that's what it's about. It's not about me getting over, me carrying a championship. The championship don't mean shit. It's what I do to make a championship. It's to being a champion. Look at my matches. You will see what I'm good at. I'm not here to talk. I'm here just to entertain people. That's all I'm here for. I don't care about the fans. I don't care about fucking money. I don't care about the shit. This is an empire. This is a legacy that I'm doing.
Okay, I think that's pretty much what we got to the meat and potatoes of tonight. Kraven Rage is certainly building an empire. He has been champion for over 1 year. He has remained the ruler of the WC yard, the backyard nightmare. Will he be some other people's nightmares in the backyards? We'll have to find out. July 8th is a big show coming up, Showdown in the Yard. We also have IMF, DKW, July 1st next weekend. Be there for that. Chris Kraven. We could have many more appearances on Sportswire. Might even be my co-host when it comes to wrestling coverage. I mean, he's certainly he's got some fire to him. I like the guy. There's something about this guy, Chris Kraven. I like him. I don't know what it is, but I like the guy. And we want to see more of him on Sportswire. Hopefully his schedule permits, and we can have him on here more
Send
often.
me a message when and where, dude.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure out at
Chris,
this point.
me and Soldier will be in contact very soon.
Oh, I think we're going to all be in contact with a lot of us because we're all going to be seeing each other real soon because we have coverage with DKW and IMF. We have WCE coverage soon, and I'm sure we have everybody else in between. Adonis Felios, I'm sorry I couldn't get you on tonight. We just had too many people on, and I'll definitely promise to get you on. Want to be nice. We'll get you on, I'm sure, very soon. So, listen, I want to thank everybody here. Congratulations to everybody here on the big stuff, all the viewership and the new people out there. And Mr. Kraven, Chris Kraven, honor to be with you. Looking forward to more Kraven Rage. Good stuff as always. And if you are on sportnarium.com/player, you're going to your regularly scheduled programming. If you're on YouTube and Twitter, I am back Monday afternoon, a little after 7 p.m. with the juggernaut John Allens, the NBPW New British Promotions Wrestling King of Old School Champion. He's got a title defense coming up Friday. Very excited about that. And also, James Taylor wants to say one more thing. Tennessee Backyard Wrestling 6th year anniversary next week. Yes, we're going to talk about that with you. I have an announcement. You have an announcement. Going to hold off until you make the announcement first. I'm going to let your company do that, and then I'll do it afterwards. So we'll play a game. You go first, and then I'll do seconds. So great stuff there for everybody. If you are out there, my name, you may know by now, is the Reverend Tom Brice. If you're on YouTube, we're at Sportswire Radio, Facebook, Sportswire Radio. Thank you, everybody here. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe, be well. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station, that is Sportswire Radio. Thank you, everyone.